can provide better investment options that align with your long-term goals. At Trajan Wealth, we're fiduciary advisors that are held to a higher standard with no hidden agenda and no hidden fees. Don't let your retirement dollars sit in an old plan, and don't roll it over to your new plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. Call Trajan today, 919-200-4000. That's 919-200-4000.
Advisory services are offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
You know the feeling. Wake up, get ready, get the kids, the list goes on. But what if what you drive could make your life a little less complicated? With convenient home charging, a quieter ride, and an average range of more than 250 miles, EVs are one step toward a cleaner future, so you can focus on what really matters. Give yourself more time to recharge. EVs are for everyone. Sponsored by the NC Clean Energy Technology Center and the North Carolina Association of Broadcasters in cooperation with this station.
After I lost my mom, I lost my way. Then I found youth advocate programs, YAP.
YAP gives communities alternatives to residential care, youth incarceration, and neighborhood violence. Others talk social change. We make it happen. Learn more at yapinc.org.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
The Home Depot. How doers get more.
Your home for Duke football. WCMC HD2, HD3 Holly Springs, WDNC AM Durham, and WCLY AM Raleigh. The Buzz.
From Studio One on the campus of the worldwide headquarters of ESPN. And from Studio Q in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is Joe and Q on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Shador gunning, end zone, sliding, catch, that's a touchdown, put him up. Shador Sanders has his second touchdown throw of the first half.
I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't nervous, so I didn't really have too much adrenaline. It was just getting comfortable. That's all it is.
You can't tell me that dude looked like a 5th-round draft pick last night. You talking about the throws he made? MVP type.
And I love myself. The world is a ghetto with big guns and dick inside.
Shador Sanders, he was the big story coming off of Week 1 preseason action. But we're not going to see him in Week 2. Joe and Q on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM, Channel 80. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. Good to have you aboard. I'm Jonathan Zaslow, alongside Ken LaVicka. Ken, how you doing this afternoon? Good to see you again.
Saz, always good to spend time with you this afternoon in the post preseason, at least for now, Shador Sanders era.
Got a lot going on off the air before we started the show today, and I'm a little I'm scattered right now. Okay, I'm very there's a lot going on. Like I'm focused on other things, and all right, everybody calm down. Let's get it together here today. All right, maybe we'll revisit the drama behind the scenes.
We might have to
at some point on the show today. You heard right there, though, 850 ESPN WKNR, part of Shador Sanders. His first preseason start went fantastic. But yesterday, and this happened actually right before we were going on the air, Cleveland Browns quarterback Shador Sanders injured an oblique throwing on Wednesday morning, and he was held out of the first day of joint practices with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, further medical testing and examination revealed an oblique strain. He's considered day-to-day. He will not practice today. He is unlikely to play in the preseason game against the Eagles this Saturday. Now, Browns coach Kevin Stefanski, he told ESPN Sal Paolantonio, not to be confused, Ken, with the great Sal Paolantonio, all right? ESPN Sal Paolantonio after practice that Sanders suffered an oblique discomfort during warm-ups, and the plan for Sanders to practice was scrapped at the last minute. So it doesn't sound like it's anything serious, but for Shador, it kind of is serious because you're opening the door here, just like the door was open for him last weekend. He didn't necessarily earn the start in the first preseason game. He essentially got it by default. Kenny Pickett, hamstring. Dylan Gabriel, hamstring. Shador, set up to fail. He was set up to succeed, and he did the best that you could possibly could have hoped for. Well, now he has thrown it right back potentially at Dylan Gabriel, opening the door for someone else now to step in.
Yeah, and Shedur's in a tough spot already because not only were you a fifth-round pick, but also you were the second quarterback taken in your team's draft plan. And so that immediately puts you behind the 8 ball going into camp. Now, as you laid out, it was a fortunate turn of events for Shedeur that start ended up landing on his lap, and he took advantage of it, fully to his credit, because Shedeur Sanders is all eyeballs all the time. The Sanders name has a lot of weight. That immediately turns into attention that's paid to them. What he did in that first preseason game has been poured over. It's been examined. It's been dissected. It's been a little bit silly, but it did put him in a spot where he lobbed the opening salvo to win that backup quarterback job with the Browns. The timing of this couldn't be worse. And, yeah, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but these oblique injuries on the pantheon of injuries that linger a bit, especially for a quarterback, this one qualifies for something like that.
Well, maybe it's not as bad as we're making it out to be. Chris Canty, unsportsmanlike every morning here on ESPN Radio, 6:10 a.m. Eastern Time. He was on First Take, and he told you, hey, this may not be the worst thing for Shedeur.
This could be a blessing in disguise for Shedeur Sanders, and here's what I mean by that. The ultimate objective is to sell the Cleveland Browns that you are their future at the quarterback position, especially considering that the Browns have 2 first-round draft picks in 2026. Maybe, just maybe, it might be in Shedeur's best interest with this potential injury, the fact that you're not going to see him out there against the Philadelphia Eagles on Saturday night. It tampers down unrealistic expectations that some people, and I say some, not all, have been putting on Shedeur while he's been considered or being in the mix for the QB1 job. When you look at the Cleveland Browns, starting the season as QB1 as a rookie might not be ideal.
So there are unrealistic expectations, yes. I think based on what we saw over the weekend and some of the hyperbolic reaction, I think that tells you exactly that. But I don't think anything's going to change because this is one of those situations. This is one of those sports stories where people feel so strongly about, going into the draft, where's Shedeur going to go, and then you get the drop to the 5th round, and it's an even bigger story, whether you could believe it or not, and whether you're on one side or the other, whether you think Shedeur he dropped to the 5th round because there are specific reasons, meaning like he's not as good as we thought he was, or you're on the other side where these teams are crazy and look what he did in the first preseason game. That didn't look like a 5th-round pick. I feel like people are so dug in on their stance, no matter which side they're on, that you're either going to have the super hyperbolic reaction on one side of the pendulum or you're going to have it on the other side, and I don't think that that's slowing down at all.
No, and it comes with the last name, Sanders. That immediately is going to trigger emotions one way or the other. I mean, Zaz, look at it. If we were discussing the prospects of a first preseason game for Shedeur Sanders before Colorado's bowl game last year, I think you and I would be in agreement. Hey, I bet he's probably going to look pretty competent in wherever he debuts in a preseason game, because at that time, he was not projected as a 5th-round draft pick, right? He had a pretty good final college season. And then all of the reported issues with him showing up late, not taking meetings seriously, teams stay away from him in the draft, he goes to the 5th round. That in and of itself then triggered all this hysteria, all this discussion. I think some people rooting for him, but almost as many people rooting against him because of inherent Sanders bias and, Sanders family, have all that personality, don't want to put the work in, all these stupid, ignorant thoughts that people have. But then he has the ability to start that first preseason game, but Zaz, not before. There are voices on this network saying the Browns are putting Shedeur Sanders in a position to fail. He's a victim because he was a 5th-round draft pick, and he didn't get enough reps with the ones before the preseason game, even though since the beginning of time, that's been how 5th-round picks have been treated in their very first training camp, and then he balls out. All of these things have come together for this massive overreaction explosion that we find ourselves in now. He was never going to be the starting quarterback in week 1, period, exclamation point, end of punctuation.
So Mary Kay Cabot covers the Cleveland Browns for Cleveland.com, plain dealer, covers them as well as anybody else. And she tweeted out here earlier today that Kevin Stefanski, Browns head coach of Shedeur Sanders, said he would be, quote, put down for a little bit. Now, that sounds rather ominous when you phrase it like that, but I think we all
farm
understand.
upstate.
Different wording would have been nice.
Right.
Yeah.
He will be put down for just for a little bit, not forever.
We'll bring him back, though.
Yeah, just for a little bit. So you wonder if he's very likely not going to play this weekend. If he doesn't play in the third preseason game, man, then this oblique injury comes at such a rough time because the door is wide open now for Dillon Gabriel. And if he has a nice performance in each of these final 2 preseason games, you're not really going to have a leg to stand on as far as shouting from the rooftop that Shedeur Sanders should be the guy. Not week 1. Doesn't matter what Shedeur or Dillon Gabriel do in preseason and training camp. Joe Flacco is starting week 1. How long he starts for, that's up for discussion. But if Shedeur can't get back out there for the third preseason game, then I don't see how he winds up working his way as the first guy this season after Joe Flacco.
And Zaz, there are some hypotheticals to keep in mind, too, because Dillon Gabriel spoke yesterday about that hamstring. And, yeah, he's participating in practice, but it also still clearly doesn't feel great for him. And it was floated in Cleveland media, what if Tyler Huntley, one, gets the start, and because of the injuries in the quarterback room, because Joe Flacco's not playing, what if Tyler Huntley gets every snap in that second preseason game? So then you go into a third preseason game, and Kenny Pickett hasn't seen any preseason time. And Dillon Gabriel maybe hasn't seen any preseason time. And then Shedeur Sanders, the one with the oblique injuries, the only one of the rookie quarterbacks or for that backup quarterback role that has seen any time. And then what if Dillon Gabriel does play? I mean, how much pressure is he feeling now? Because he's behind the 8 ball.
I think he should feel good. He's got an opportunity. I mean, we can't do the same thing that we did with Shedeur last weekend where he's put in a position to fail. There's a great opportunity for Dillon Gabriel now.
It is a great opportunity for him, but in my and I just get the sense, like watching both play quarterback, and Dillon Gabriel played about 17 years of college football. We saw a lot of Shedeur Sanders. Like, I just think Shedeur Sanders is a flat-out better quarterback than Dillon Gabriel is. He has more intangibles. Like Dillon Gabriel is, and the court of public opinion is very, very behind Shedeur Sanders now, especially in Cleveland. Dillon Gabriel with a hamstring that's still bothering him is going to have to put on one heck of a performance in the second preseason game if he plays.
Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders unlikely to play Saturday in preseason game number 2 against the Eagles. He's Ken Levick. I'm Jonathan Zaslow. Joey Q is presented by Progressive Insurance. Protect the stuff you love with Renters Insurance. Visit Progressive.com. Up next, who will start the most games at quarterback for the Browns this season? They have no shortage of options to choose from. Don't go anywhere. Joe and Q on ESPN Radio, and tune in.
What's up? It's Gary Striesky today on SC Plus, only on Disney Plus. Brews and burgers the people of Milwaukee live in. And Ohtani and Trout finally face off again. Shohei gets the better of Mike. And I can confirm Taylor Swift does no ball. All that and more today on SC Plus.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
The Adam Gold Show.
So I hear Bill Belichick's non-committal about a starting quarterback for the TCU game. First, that's on brand for Bill. He's not going to give you what you want to hear. He's going to play everything close to the vest. But let's be honest here. They brought Gio Lopez here for a reason. If he's the epic duels with Bryce and DeChambeau 4 years ago. All right, Chick Hernandez, WUSA 9 Sports, at Mr. Chick Sports on Twitter. I'm just reading it right off the TV screen in front of me.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can actually see you. I've got a camera in there. You never knew
beautiful.
that. Nice.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
It's not the first time I've been on hidden camera.
No, you should put some pants on next time, by the way.
Not me. So walk me through where we are with Terry McLaurin. We have a lot of Washington fans here, man. And they saw it last year and how exciting that was, and you're living it. So walk me through where we are with Terry McLaurin.
Well, as you can hear the whistles blowing in the background, Dan Quinn has brought his team into the practice bubble today because temperatures are going to go up, and so he's switching things up. And one guy who I have yet to see on the sideline is Terry McLaurin. He was there for the Burgundy and Gold scrimmage last week. Where we are is at an impasse. And, I guess the good thing about Adam Peters, the GM, is that he's just so tight-lipped. He doesn't leak anything out. So, my media brethren are losing their minds because they can't get the number of what was asked and what's offered. A lot of times that gets out by the agent, and even the agent's kind of staying quiet on this one. So I don't know. We're at an impasse. I'm not worried still. I've said it for the last 2 months that Terry McLaurin will be a Washington Commander when all is said and done.
Right.
I'll be stunned if he's not. I mean, what team puts a guy on a PUP list with an ankle? I'm using air quotes you can't see, ankle. And then he's out signing autographs post practice. What guy who's holding out or holding in, as they're calling it, is allowed to do that? It's not a contentious negotiation. It's just trying to find a spot and what that dollar amount's going to be, whether it's guaranteed money or. So we're just at an impasse. I don't think there's a panic. Their quarterback, Jaden Daniels, is the one who's been, every time he sees Terry, gets the crowd up and gets him into a Terry chant. He wants him badly. Everybody wants Terry to be here, and Terry wants to be here. I just don't know what the agent and Terry asked for and whether it's way too much, and is there a way to figure this thing out? There's got to be a number and a way to manipulate the numbers with guaranteed money over the first 2 years to make Terry happy.
Chick Hernandez is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Is there a date? Andrew Brandt, who is a very popular follow on Twitter because he has held all roles within NFL front offices, agents. He's an attorney. He always says deadlines spur deals. So is there a date by which this thing has to be sorted out?
Well, I don't think so, because Terry is so well-versed in the offense. Because he's on the PUP list, he's in the building, all meetings. So, I mean, it's not, like I said, the ankle and air quotes, I think he's physically ready to go. So, and we're not privy to what he's doing when we're not here. Jaden Daniels comes in this very practice bubble at 6 o'clock in the morning and does his own personal walkthrough before he goes out to the practice or another walkthrough with the rest of the team because he wants to be ready. A lot of times Luke McCaffrey's involved in that. Who knows if Terry McLaurin's involved in that? We don't know. So I don't think there's a deadline. I think Terry's working out on his own. He's doing yoga too, which is nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I wish I could do that, but my body would not allow.
You can. Of course your body would allow it.
I could. I would allow it, but it would be like, we'd have to call the EMTs every third day.
You get through.
I think if there's one guy on the squad that can pick it up quickly and go, that's Terry McLaurin. And he's such on the same page as he was last year with Jaden. And I just think, here comes the music really loud. They're kicking field goals now, so let me walk out if I can.
You're fine.
I
couldn't hear the music.
Okay, good. So I think, with Terry, you have to have him. He's one of the top 3 pass catchers in traffic in the league.
Right.
And Jaden puts balls where a lot of guys can't, but they're in traffic, but the defenders aren't getting them, but Terry's catching them. So I just think it's going to get done. I don't think there's a deadline yet. Now, you play your third preseason game, then we're up against it and how quickly he can come back. But Adam Peters has done this historically when he was in San Francisco as an assistant with John Lynch. They've signed guys the first week of the season. So I don't think he's worried about it.
Now, he didn't. Adam Peters wasn't in San Francisco when Deebo Samuel went through a holdout. I think Adam Peters was already. Maybe he was. Maybe that those two things were at the same time. Deebo is here now, but Deebo is not a replacement, a reasonable facsimile of Terry McLaurin. They're very different. Very different players. What role does the fact that McLaurin was here during the dark times? What role does that play in terms of if you're just looking at the court of public opinion and any pressure applied by Washington fans in some way, shape, or form, if that can be applied?
Yeah, we would think so. We, the media, have watched him play with Dudu at quarterback for a lot of years, and he saved any modicum of respectability by playing with those quarterbacks. I mean, I think the number is 13 or 14 different quarterbacks, and some have names. Some you could put Hernandez in the back of the jersey because it didn't make a difference. So I initially we thought, well, you gotta give him his due for what he went through and what he brought this. He was the face of the franchise. He really still is.
Yeah.
I mean, Jaden Daniels is the face, but Jaden's just getting his feet under him as far as the community and the charity stuff. It was always Terry going out and doing all the different things, and whether at least to our faces, it was happily to do so. And he was, he's been a tremendous ambassador for this franchise when this franchise didn't have a very positive image. So I don't, in a world where we say, we should give guys money for, what they went through, that would be a thing. But I mean, Adam Peters, Dan Quinn, they're trying to build a franchise and build a winner for years. And so I think they've kind of taken a harder line when it comes to that. Dan's like, hey, dude, I wasn't here. I wasn't here when you went through that, Peters, I wasn't here when you went through that either. I understand what you went through, and they love him. They want him, but I don't think that plays a part in this.
Chick Hernandez is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Let me get to it. First of all, you talk about Jaden Daniels. Yep. I mean, year 2 of a rookie contract. This is exactly what San Francisco went through when they realized, hey, this Brock Purdy guy might be pretty good. Now, he had some injury issues early, but he is certainly a quarterback that they built a great team around him. What kind of a sense of urgency is there with this club having Daniels under this as dirt cheap as you can be as the the second pick in the draft? As dirt cheap a contract, what kind of pressure is it on them to kind of cash in on this?
I think it's a quiet pressure on them. They know it's coming, $240 to $280 million contract, without thinking about it.
Right.
On the trek that he's on. So yeah, that has to play a part in it too. I was joking. I was like, why doesn't Jaden just go, listen, I know Terry's not signed yet, and you guys are going to sign me for a boatload of money, but I'm going to give you 10, 20 mil right here, right now, and I'll take that out of our ask when it's time in 4 years. But that's not the way this thing works.
No.
So no, there's pressure, but this is statistically the oldest team in the league. By the time his contract rolls around, there'll be no Bobby Wagner's, no Zach Ertz.
Right.
Debo will be, well into, long tooth years. So yeah, there's pressure, but Adam Peters exudes like I know what I'm doing, and so far he has been correct on a lot of it. Now they just and without even saying anything, they cut Dominic Hampton, who was a 5th round pick last year, and didn't explain themselves other than it just said hey, he didn't fit.
Right.
Okay, and that's cool. There was just the prior regime. Let me tell you this: if Dan Snyder was the owner of the Washington Commanders currently, Terry McLaurin would have been signed already, and it would have been a horrific deal. Horrific for the franchise.
Right.
No question. No question. These guys are trying to build, and so we're giving it the time that it needs. I'm not worried about Terry, and I don't think with look, it's his year 2 for Jaden. It's funny, he had not a great practice the other day.
Mm-hmm.
First time I've seen him kind of off during their burgundy and gold scrimmage, and Dan Quinn was asked this morning about that. And he said, yeah, I mean, it was evident. He was off. And our conversations directly afterwards were like, Jaden said, I love the challenge. And he came out in their next practice and was like, just lit it up.
Right.
So he's motivated. Everybody's got a bad day. Me, not so much. I've had tremendous days all of my life.
You're so consistent. You are so consistently good.
Except for the cancer. The cancer wasn't a good day, a good time. Other than that, really good. By the way, I know that my brother-in-law, Tommy, is listening because every time I'm on your show, he then remarks to his sister, my wife, I heard Chick on the air. So, hello, Tommy. Good to see you.
What
Good to
up, Tommy? I had no idea. Tommy should drop me a note. We'll grab a bagel. Two very quick things before I let you go because I know practice is about to end. Joint practice with the Ravens was canceled. Anything behind that?
I will tell you this right here now that if I were a betting man, that was all Ravens. And a schedule that John Harbaugh is like, you know what? I don't want to. We can't do this. So because Dan Quinn was asked about it, and he said, it's just a scheduling conflict. He said, a lot of respect for the Ravens. But having talked to a few folks, it's pretty apparent that this was a Ravens initiated thing. I'm not sure that commanders are fully happy about it because they get their best work done during those joint practices. He says it won't affect, Dan Quinn says it won't affect what starters play this Monday night against Cincinnati, but they get their best work done because they can take their ones and put them in situations and put Jaden in a red zone, put him in a third and long situation and go through that whole thing, a 2-minute drill, all of that, or a 4-minute drill, and script it out that way and go against the other ones. Now they can't. And so I'm sure that the Burgundy and Gold Brass isn't exactly pleased by it, but they're tremendous at adjusting. They've been adjusting all camp. He's moved practices up to 9 a.m. when they're supposed to be at 11 or 12 because of the weather.
Yeah.
So they're always trying to figure out the best way to get. Oh, almost said the S word. To get stuff done. almost.
Stuff is also an S word.
Yes.
All right. And finally, as somebody who grew up there, and I spent a lot of years in the nation's capital, the fact that the team looks like, I realize we're not all the way at the finish line yet, but headed back to D.C., whether they're going to call they're not going to call it RFK Jr. Stadium, right?
I don't think so.
Sorry, but it's got to be exciting for everybody.
If it's called RFK Jr. Stadium, it'll only be non-processed foods served, which is kind of cool.
No hot dogs.
No, but you can eat wild game if you kill it on the road and bring it in.
I ruined that. I apologize.
It's so good. It's so good. Look, the town, after getting it mostly done, when it goes up in 2030 is just going to be outstanding. I grew up in this area, was not a Washington fan.
Right.
But then to go and cover them, I've covered this franchise for 34 years.
Yep.
So that's my base. And when I talk to guys, these young guys here on this team who weren't alive, and talk to the coaches who were, and so I've been there for over 3 decades, like, man, you've seen it all. Yeah, I've seen it all. And now to see them, I was there for the final game at RFK. And it'll be interesting and awesome to get back. I hope I'll be retired by then in 2030, but I'll come back in some capacity. That's my goal.
Right.
But yeah, no, the town is. It's going to go upside down. And I saw what they did when the Wizards came to DC and rebuilt that area. To rebuild where that stadium is, ultimately is going to be a positive for everybody.
Yeah.
And the ownership group has been. They've never. There's been, again, I mentioned the word Dan Snyder. There's never been a false step by this current ownership. There's never been a false word to our knowledge. They have steadfastly said, we want to bring a winner back and we want to bring this team to D.C. And they're doing everything they possibly can to do that. And it's just, this generation is going to see, they saw it last year, a winner. And, that hasn't been the case in 20, 25 years. Kind of stunning. Who said the other day, Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts were born, became adults, played in the league, and got to the playoffs before the Dallas Cowboys went back to the playoffs, kind of thing. That's how long it's been. Okay,
Unbelievable.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, so that's right now, good times, and hopefully Terry signs, and hopefully I get on the golf course and all that stuff.
Chick Hernandez, you're the best, my friend. At Mr. Chick Sports, WUSA Sports. You don't retire yet. I'll speak to you soon.
Right,
stay out of the heat, and we'll talk later.
Thank you, Goldie. Appreciate it, man.
You got it. It's Chick Hernandez here on the Adam Gold Show. Completely screwed up the question about with my little RFK Jr. Stadium joke. Never mind. When we come back, we got some Hurricane stuff. Tom Dundon is also now the prospective owner of the Portland Trailblazers. The Boston Celtics, I'll explain why you haven't heard from Dundon officially about this yet, because there's something very simple as to why. So we'll talk about that. The Hurricanes are on some lists I want to get to, and we'll give you an update on what the Panthers are doing in Houston. Next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
You've heard the perfect scores on air. We're bringing our champions to the stage. It's our second annual Numbers Game Live show, presented by Sharky's Place Sports Bar and Grill. Perfect players will compete on August 21st at the fabulous Hilton Raleigh North Hills. Watch on YouTube as we crown a Numbers Game champ. Special thanks to On-Site AV, a full-service event production company, for lighting up Numbers Game Live.
Hey, Mr. Businessman. Looking to reward your staff for a great first quarter? Adam Gold here. X-Golf in Cary, right in the McGregor Village Shopping Center. Take your company party or team building event to a new level. First, the premier golf simulator in North Carolina. So much fun. Food is great. Bar's top-notch. And it's a better idea than another company Polo. Plus, there's a buy one, get one special for your tee time as well. Just mention Gold and enjoy. Online at playxgolf.com/Cary, the home of premier indoor golf in North Carolina.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Fox & Bailey, the watch shop located inside their Village District location, has the hottest lineup in town. Pre-owned Rolex, Omega, Blancpain, Glashute Original, Norcane, and more. And we mention those brands for this reason. They aren't just watches. They're icons. They're Hall of Famers. Collector-level pieces with serious pedigree made to turn heads and stand the test of time. Now, clearly, you're listening to 99.9 The Fan, which means you're into sports. Fox & Bailey, they have timepieces built for it all. Not just a tuxedo, flashy, but when you're diving, racing, maybe a pilot's watch if you're doing some flying. Whatever your game, they've got a watch that fits the moment and the mindset. Don't forget, with anniversaries, big milestones ahead, that Bailey's Fine Jewelry is your go-to for unforgettable gifts. Their selection of fine and designer jewelry is unmatched. Think timeless, thoughtful, and guaranteed to impress. All at Bailey's Fine Jewelry in the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
This is Adam Gold.
There will be tushes pushed in the NFL in 2025.
Push and tushes.
There you go.
Happy Hump Day!
That's brilliant.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria on the ones and twos. I have 2 ESPN channels up in front. We have 3 TVs. One of the TVs is on our video. So, speaking of which, YouTube, search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan if you want to watch us do the show. Just give a little wink to my mother-in-law. Was Peter Chick's brother-in-law?
Potentially.
We have to go back and listen to that. I'm bad with names. Shouts. But on.
Oh, hi, Mom. My mom's listening.
Okay, there you go.
My biological mom. You have your mother-in-law, but I don't want to confuse it. It's my mom.
Gotcha. So in First Take, what are they talking about? What do you think they're talking about on First Take right now?
Ooh, just reading lips or just trying to figure it out. You know what they're probably talking about? Aaron Rodgers.
No. They got Chris Canty and Marcus Spears talking about Taylor Swift.
Oh, boy.
On the Kelsey Brothers podcast.
Yes.
Just for all the people who are mad that we talked about it yesterday, they're talking about it on ESPN. It's on the front page of ESPN. I'm not talking about it now. I'm just telling you that you guys all need to get over it. Just like you needed to get over Taylor Swift being on camera during a football game.
Right.
They were showing the plays, and then when her boyfriend did something good, they would show her, like they do with everybody else.
So if he ever scores a touchdown, just look away for a few seconds.
Oh my gosh.
And then your eyeballs will be safe.
Anyway, I wanted to talk about, we're going to get to the Panthers. I want to talk about Tom Dundon, and because I texted the owner of the Hurricanes yesterday. Little joke, hey, don't leave us for the Pacific Northwest. And he just responded, never. I'm like, I'd love to chat with you about this. I can't talk about it. And here's why. It's not official yet. It's not official. He hasn't yet purchased the team. They have a deal. He will be the owner in time. But they can't have an announcement until that deal has officially gone through. It has to go through approval of the rest of the NBA. So there are hoops to jump through. How long ago were the Celtics sold?
No pun intended.
What did I? Hoops
to jump.
There you go. Another one. How long ago were the Celtics sold? It was just made official yesterday. They were sold, I don't know, almost a year ago?
Yeah.
It was just official yesterday. I'm not saying it's going to take that long, but there are a lot of things procedurally that have to happen before anybody can officially comment. You haven't heard from Adam Silver?
No.
About this? Look, they're very happy in Portland. Here's a little bit of their Fox 12 news update. This is Nick Krupke, who is the sports director.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It's been 7 years since the passing of Paul Allen, and now his estate has found a buyer just 3 months after going on the market, selling the Trailblazers for reportedly more than $4 billion with no intention of relocating the franchise.
Tom Dundon, Governor Cooper, all enjoying it.
Tom Dundon is the 53-year-old owner of the NHL's Carolina Hurricanes. A spokesperson for the pro hockey team confirmed to Fox 12 that Dundon is in the process of buying the Trailblazers and is excited to do so. Dundon was raised in Dallas, Texas, still calls the Lone Star State home. The billionaire businessman became majority owner of the Hurricanes in 2018. He also invested early in Topgolf and Major League Pickleball. Other reported investors in the ownership group headed by Dundon includes Mark Czar of Blue Owl Capital, as well as Shield Tile. He is the Portland-based.
That's good. By the way, those are like venture capital, private equity firms. There's a lot of money involved. I looked at Blue Owl. They've got like 170 some odd billion in assets.
Wow. A little bit.
Billion.
Yeah.
If you notice in the report, it's in the process. So he's not yet the owner of the Portland Trailblazers. And a little bit later on, our friend Konata Edwards is going to join us. I know that there are a lot of people who maybe we might have some Blazers fans in the area. And they have certainly been, over the years, a very good, not quite great, but a very good NBA franchise, very popular. And you would think, well, the Hurricanes have been super successful. I'm going to ask Kannell because I think it's going to be more difficult to execute a plan in the NBA. I believe it will be more difficult to execute a plan. I think it is incredibly difficult in that league to build unless you get super lucky. I'm like the Dallas Mavericks stepped in a pile of good luck when they went all the way to number 1 and drafted Cooper Flagg. I'm not saying that Cooper Flagg's going to be a top 10 player in the league this year, but I think we know that he is going to be a star. At the very least, the basement for him is probably really good player. That's probably the worst he's going to be, is a really good player. But he could be a legit star in the league. They've already got a good team, and now they just got the crown jewel of maybe the last 3 or 4 years of the draft. Anyway, my point is that the NBA is just a little bit more difficult to identify players. It's more difficult, I think, to find market inefficiencies. And while the National Hockey League, you can build a team of a bunch of really good players without necessarily superstar caliber players, you can't do that in the NBA. That does not exist in the NBA. You can't find any examples of teams that don't have a legit superstar that are title contenders. You just can't. They don't exist. It's harder in the NBA. And so it's going to take a while for Tom to learn that. Maybe he will understand it. Maybe he won't be as hands-on there as he was and still is in Carolina. Now, real quick about the Hurricanes on the ice. This is kind of fun stuff. NHL.com is in the process, because it is that time of the year, of doing their top 20 at this position. So I think it was either earlier this week or last week, they did top 20 wingers in the league. No Hurricanes among the top 20 wingers. I'm just not bent out of shape about that. Right? Do I think Seth Jarvis is a top 20 winger in the NHL? Yeah, I do. In fact, I'll use this as proof. Alexander Ovechkin is 17th on the list of the top 20 wingers in the NHL. Alex Ovechkin is not the best winger on his own team, let alone 17th in the entire league. Seth Jarvis, to me, is also a better player today. Remember, this has nothing to do with history. Today, Seth Jarvis is a better player than Alex Ovechkin. There's probably anywhere from 25 to 30 wingers who are better at this point than Ovi. So, lists are lists, and they are in many ways designed to create, what the heck were they thinking? That kind of emotion. They announced the defenseman yesterday. Jacob Slavin, 8th overall. We all know who number 1 is, Cale Makar. There's nobody in Cale Makar's class in the NHL. I think we are talking about one of the great historical players in the league based on everything he is capable of doing. And I know that there was some debate back and forth on Kane's Twitter about Makar versus Slavin. Look, I'm as big a Jacob Slavin fan as you're going to find. No, he's not better than Cale Makar. Now, is he better defensively than Cale Makar? Yes. But Cale Makar is really good defensively, and he happens to be the best offensive weapon at the position over the last several years. That's a tough combo to beat. But there are players ahead of Slavin on the list. And I'm like, Josh Morrissey? Really? I'm not saying that Josh Morrissey isn't a wonderful player. And he's very good offensively. He's good on the power play. Jacob Slavin's a better player than Josh Morrissey. And I think there are several players that are behind Slavin who are also better than Josh Morrissey. Again, these lists are designed to make us irrationally upset. And they almost always succeed because we don't get a chance to do the lists. We don't. I think when I did my NHL top 20, because I knew this was coming out, I think I had Slavin as 7. And by the way, I think Gustav Forsling, who is essentially the same thing as Jacob Slavin. No joke. Forsling's awesome with Florida. He's also better than Josh Morrissey. By the way, Devin Taves, who is Cale Makar's running mate, if you will, in Colorado, I think he's better than Josh Morrissey. Taves came in at 17th. Seems kind of low for somebody as good as Devin Taves. Anyway, the lists are out there if you want to go check them out. They haven't released centers yet. Sebastian Aho probably be somewhere in the 10 to 13 range is my guess. Just a guess. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, one-timers, you can ask anything you like. Go to YouTube, search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan. You can post your question right there, or you can go to Twitter, ask Victoria at V_2_the_Victoria.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I'm on. I got it down. You can also ask me directly at AGoldFan if you want. We'll do all that next, right? Yeah.
Making more sports sense than social media trolls. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy. You're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org. Make this your best summer yet by having fun while staying active and engaged. AARP can help. Find AARP events near you by visiting aarp.org/local. That's aarp.org/local to find both in-person and virtual events. You can also learn more about living your best life by listening to AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Did you know Atlantic hurricane season runs through November. From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. We're celebrating the 10th anniversary of Healthy People, Healthy Carolinas, a powerful initiative from the Duke Endowment that supports community-based coalitions working together to improve health. In our latest episode, produced in partnership with the North Carolina Healthcare Association, Jordan Fry of Healthy Together Cleveland tells us how HPHC is making a difference in her county.
It means everybody's at the table. Healthcare providers like Atrium Health, the county's health department, our food pantries, our school systems, colleges, cooperative extension, farmers markets, but most importantly, our residents. Everybody has a role to play, and Healthy Together Cleveland acts as the connector.
Learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Healthcare?
Why is it so hard?
Healthcare is broken.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all, starting with you.
Really?
Really. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting all your benefits, prescriptions, and details on your computer and phone. Convinced?
No, but it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina, making healthcare better for all, starting with you.
Now, all across North Carolina, it's Carolina Newsmakers. Each week, leaders from politics, education, business, and the arts join Don Curtis to share insights and ideas shaping our state. Listen on radio stations throughout North Carolina and on demand at carolinanewsmakers.com. Carolina Newsmakers is presented in part by the North Carolina Academy of Family Physicians, advancing family medicine in North Carolina since 1947.
This is Adam Gold.
We had lightning hit a pretty large tree.
Oh, yeah.
About 150 yards from the house. It'll be my sign to go win the lottery. But you know what? I'm sorry, I can't. I have rules. If it's not over $1 billion, I'm not playing.
Yeah, still just millions.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria on the ones and twos. Correction. NHL Network is doing their top 20.
Oh.
I saw the list on NHL.com, though. So,
yeah.
anyway.
That happens.
Yeah, off-season, kind of focused on other things. Haven't watched a lot of... don't tell EJ Raddick this when we talk to him next. I haven't watched a ton of NHL Network in the last month. I love EJ. I support EJ and Kevin Weeks and all the guys there and women, but no, not on my frequent channel list right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it is time. One-timers, ask a question.
Alrighty, so let's look here. We've got from Sawyer. This one is about the Canes. What trade package would you feel comfortable giving for a player like Kadri Lindholm or O'Reilly? All of them have pretty lengthy deals, but are legit 2Cs.
They're not all the same. Some are closer to the very end of their careers. And it really depends on if their teams that they're on. Like, I think Ryan O'Reilly is a lot closer to the end. He would be a very temporary, I think. Like, I just don't know how much longer he's going to be at the height of his game. Kadri is probably in between where he and Lindholm are. We don't know what Lindholm is because statistically speaking, he hasn't been as good last couple of years. He's also dealt with some injuries. Do I think he'd be good here? I do. I would be interested in that. In terms of a package, it's hard to say. Again, it all depends on how the other team views the player, what their situation is in terms of how close they are to winning, but it would probably take a draft pick, a prospect, and a player. So that's your package, and depending on what that team's view of their immediate future beyond this year is, that would determine the quality of the prospect and the quality of the player that go the other way. It would cost you a first-round pick. No. Hurricanes aren't going to trade their first-round pick from this upcoming draft. I can't imagine it because right now it's basically their only draft pick.
No.
So they don't have a pick in the second, third, fourth, or fifth rounds, I believe, right now.
Ooh. Yeah. Well, this also from our YouTube stream. Now, this was from yesterday. We didn't have time for it. So this person said that they are a Jags fan. How do you like week 1 matchup for the Panthers against the Jags?
I don't know what the Jags are going to be. I think seriously, I think the Jaguars are in some ways very similar to the Panthers. I think their defense is obviously better, but in terms of where they are, this is a must year. They have to look in some way, they have to look competent. And they haven't really looked competent for a while. Everybody thought Doug Peterson would be the answer. Like, it was a complete disaster. Anybody could have told you that would have happened with Urban Meyer. Utter disaster. And who knows how far it set back the franchise. Doug Peterson was better, but really not great. I'm not sure. Look, I have never been a Trevor Lawrence fan. I think Trevor Lawrence has natural physical gifts, but I've never really gotten with him as the NFL caliber quarterback. So it's a huge year for him. I think that is a very important opener. I did see an ESPN poll. It might not have been a poll. I don't know whatever you would call it. Should the Jaguars play Travis Hunter at just one position? A, they're not. They're going to play him at both because they treated it as such during the draft. And B, if I could play him at both positions, I would. He's really good at both. It's like telling the Dodgers, you know what, you shouldn't let Shohei Ohtani pitch.
Right.
That's why you're paying him the money. Mm-hmm. That's why you got him. You got him because he's good at both, or great at both in this case, and the same with Travis Hunter.
All right, so we've kind of got two people who are curious about Bradley Nadeau. So someone said earlier, to reiterate what someone else had said, what does happen to Nadeau at this point? We have a flood of middle six wingers and no real avenue for him to break in unless someone is hurt or traded away. And the other one was, what would you do with Bradley Nadeau?
Well, let me just point out that Jackson Blake went to training camp last year and was great and won a job. I would say the same thing about Bradley Nadeau. Go to training camp, be great, force the organization to keep you. It's just that simple.
Like Jackson Blake.
Right. They'll play him if he deserves to play. It is really that simple.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel. They are America's #1 sports book, and we have exciting news for you, the pro football fan, because in less than 2 weeks, 12 days from today, August 26th, it's FanDuel Futures Day. This is your chance to hit it big. Can you see into the future? Who do you like to win the NFL's MVP award? How about Saquon Barkley plus 6,000? If he has another big year, why not? We don't like favorites. We like a little value with our wagers. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? Washington plus 2,000. Maybe, if they can get that guy signed. Tuesday, August 26th, 1 day only. There will be incentives, but you have to wait until the 26th to find out what those are. FanDuel, play your game. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
We are knocking on the door of the regular season for the Carolina Panthers, and there are still so many questions on the defensive depth chart. The depth the second unit. What happens if someone gets hurt? For the Carolina Panthers defense is the type of question where the answers are harrowing. You don't want to see them. It's like the end of a horror movie. Just roll credits.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or 2 Bird Dog Combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Looking for a big new game to play? Well, there's no game bigger than the new dino-sized Jurassic Park scratch-off from the North Carolina Education Lottery, which gives you a chance to win up to $200,000 instantly. And if that weren't enough, you can enter for a chance to win an exciting trip to beautiful Hawaii, where you could win up to $1 million. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Adventure awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.28. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Parenting is hard. Technology can make it harder. The Family Media Plan developed by the American Academy of Pediatrics helps make it easier. Go to healthychildren.org/media plan today to create the media plan that's right for your family.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
When you talk about Drew Aller and a quarterback having playoff experience, winning that game at Fiesta Bowl against Boise State, there are 7 teams with new quarterbacks this year. And some of their names are Oregon, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas. I mean,
Alabama.
We're talking about the big boys. Alabama, right? We're talking about the big boys here. So I don't see why, as we sit here in August, you wouldn't give the nod to Penn State at number 1.
That was Heather Dinich of ESPN. That's fine. Penn State number 1. That's it's okay. Could be Penn State. Could be maybe not Ohio State because they don't have a returning quarterback. Clemson got some votes. I think they finished 4th in the AP poll. At this point, it's just fun, and nothing should be taken with that level of import. Much like people really just view the NFL preseason as just fun exercise and getting ready. No, they don't. People are crazy for it. They wager on games, so we pay it the proper attention. And we do so by bringing in our friend, Bridget Condon, NFL Network, based in Los Angeles. So it's, I guess it's not super early in the morning, but I think we got you in between takes on set. Is that true?
It is true. Hi, Adam Gold. It is so great to be back on the show, and what a fun day to come on. I'm going to let you ask the question.
I will. We'll get to it.
I'm not. I know.
See, here's the thing. They're still they will talk about it on the Pat McAfee show today. They talked about it on First Take. It's on the front page of ESPN. Nearly 10 million people have watched the 2-hour Taylor Swift episode on the New Heights podcast with the Kelsey brothers. Tell me you're shocked that she did 2 hours with them.
I am shook to my core, Adam. It is unfortunate or fortunate. I had Chargers yesterday, so I was at Chargers facility, and my hit time. Our show is 7 to 8 Eastern, which happens to be the time Taylor Swift's episode dropped at 7 o'clock. I was hitting around 7:30, so I tuned in the beginning, did my hit, drove home, went to YouTube because I was like, oh, I'll watch it, and it was still going.
Yes.
And I'm like, wait, is this live? I was shocked. I don't think, and I don't know, I know you respect Taylor Swift. I'm not sure if you're where you lay on the Swiftie line, but we don't get this. And it's not even like we get 30 minutes and it's 2 hours. We maybe get 2 minutes, and she gave us 2 hours of raw, authentic Taylor Swift. That is, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah, look, here's how I am on the Taylor Swift, or the Swiftie scale, like a Scoville scale, for if you want to judge peppers. I could not tell you without looking at a list a single name of one of her songs, but I've listened to them.
Oh, come on.
I couldn't. But I can probably do that with a lot of groups that I do listen to. I like the music. I do absolutely. I think she slaps. There are many bops, as the kids say. But I like her more than I like the music. I found her completely normal yesterday, and the fact that she was willing to do something like that for 2 hours was absolutely tremendous. I love how you could tell the relationship that she's got with Travis and Jason. I thought it was I haven't watched all of it yet. I'm an hour and 20 minutes in.
Okay.
I love.
Well, it froze, right?
Yes, I know. They broke the internet. Caitlin Clark told me that on Twitter.
She did. Yep.
That they broke Twitter last night. Look, it's a great thing that she did. Again, almost 10 million people have already watched it.
Incredible.
That's just an incredible number. I need to get her to really be a Hurricanes fan, and then see if she'll come on the Canes Corner podcast with me to talk about the Carolina Hurricanes. But hey, it is what it is. But I'll go back and I'll watch the rest of it because I'm kind of fascinated with the whole phenomenon. I also like the fact, and she said the quiet part out loud, that football fans definitely wanted to hear more from her.
I have no notes for what she did. Everything that she said, she spoke so authentically and so meticulously. The way that she said that, I just used it actually on my Instagram because the audio is incredible, and everybody should go use the audio if you're a woman in sports. But it's so true. When you can laugh at yourself, I think that maybe, hopefully, got a lot of the men to realize, like, okay, she's not that bad. And again, it's not her fault that she's on our screens. The camera operators are going to her because that's what people want to see. And I remember, this is so funny, I was texting with a girlfriend of mine last night about this. Maybe, what was it, 2 years ago when this all went down, we were talking about it, and somebody told me, hey, we're not going to talk about this. Nobody cares about Taylor Swift.
Right.
We wouldn't talk about another player who they're dating. Like, we don't really talk about Sierra. We're not talking about Taylor Swift. It's just, we're not doing it. And that narrative has completely shifted. I think, in GMFB this morning, they spent a long time talking about it. And you want to know why? Because, as you mentioned, 10 million people already watched this. It hasn't even been 24 hours. The way that she can move an audience to like a certain thing, it is so great for the sport. And I know people hate it, and I'm sure people are turning off the radio right now saying, why is Adam Gold talking to this girl about
I got that
Taylor
yesterday.
Swift? I just want to hear about football. Enough women in sports. Get ready, because we're going to take up space, and we are here to stay, and Taylor Swift is doing great things for the sport. And you know what, Adam? maybe she'll be into hockey next. Maybe it's the Canes. Who knows? Don't count her out.
I think she has a Hurricanes jersey that they gave to her. It wasn't during the New Eras tour. I think it was a previous tour, but I think she has a Canes jersey. By the way, just to kind of put a postscript on this, and then I'm going to ask you about the Chargers and the Rams, who both have some issues. When Dan Snyder was still the owner of the Washington football team, he was buddies with Tom Cruise. And I remember every time Washington was on, and Cruise, and I guess it was when he was with Nicole Kidman. No, he wasn't with Nicole Kidman, was he? Maybe he was. I don't know. I don't know about the celebrity couples. Whenever Tom Cruise was there at the game, every time Washington did something good, they would show Dan Snyder and Tom Cruise together.
And I bet no one cared.
I didn't hear it.
Everyone loved it.
Never heard about it. Even though, never mind.
People hate women, Adam. This is what we deal with.
That is true.
But not you.
I do not.
You love women.
I do. I know. But more than that, again, this is just an aside. We all know who Sean Salisbury is, right? Former NFL quarterback, former ESPNer, is now doing radio in Houston. He's doing some video stuff, and I have no idea what really precipitated it, but he went on a rant about that there isn't a woman who coaches quarterbacks that could tell him something he did not know. And I just thought how gratuitously sexist that was, because to be fair to Sean Salisbury, he played in the NFL. There probably aren't a lot of quarterback coaches, regardless of gender, who could tell a quarterback who played in the league for a decade, things that they didn't know. Maybe they couldn't physically execute it, right?
I bet there is something that a woman could tell him to not say things like that.
Right. So he says, I'm not being sexist. I'm like, no, you are being sexist by the way.
Literally, if you have to say, hey, I'm not being sexist, or hey, let me let you know that, no, you are.
All right. Now let me ask you.
Football, though. I know people are sick of this.
The Chargers. So, Rashawn Slater.
Jesus.
Yeah. So
Rashawn Slater. So he got injured last week in practice, non-contact. I believe it was 7-on-7 or 11-on-11. And it was just one of those things where he stepped backwards and it happened. Tore his patellar tendon. This guy, I'm so happy that he got paid. And I know a lot of people think NFL players get paid and then, it is what it is. Rashawn Slater, I'll tell you, is somebody who wants to win a championship. He wants to be on that field. So you have to feel for a guy like him who does everything the right way. He already has missed a season when he had the biceps injury earlier in his career. But if this could have happened to it couldn't have happened to a better team, because you have Joe Alt, who is made up like a left tackle. He's long, he's big, he's 6'8", he's 320 pounds. He played left tackle in college, okay?
Right.
He moved to the right because they already had Rashawn Slater. He's moving back to the left. So I talked to him actually after practice yesterday. He feels confident in being back on the left side. And right now it's just working on figuring out where Justin Herbert is behind him, because obviously it's opposite than when you're on the right side. Still a couple weeks before week one. I think they'll be fine. The O-line, though, is dealing with other issues. Mekhi Becton, who they got and hopefully wanted to use. It's kind of interesting. He hasn't practiced in more than 2 weeks, undisclosed as to why. He was out, like, in the locker room. The way their facility is you can kind of see the weight room. It's right next to the field. So he looked sweaty yesterday, like he had just gone through a workout. That's a positive. Hey,
right.
That's a positive. We're taking positives where we can. I don't know, though. Hopefully he gets back into the mix here soon. But you just look at this Chargers team, and it feels like in February, March, they always are going to the Super Bowl. And then the luck, whatever it is, it just, something happens every season.
By the way, I have inside information that Mekhi Becton being sweaty, he had seen a trailer of the Taylor Swift appearance on the New Heights podcast. So I think that was really, he saw the album cover.
Breaking news here.
Yeah, he saw the album cover. So the reason I asked you about the Chargers, the Rashawn Slater injury is obviously a big deal. It's year 2 of Jim Harbaugh. And Omarion Hampton, who was a star at North Carolina, is now their guy in the backfield. And I was curious if it changed the calculus of what we could expect. Plus, that division got The Broncos are no
Denver,
joke.
yeah.
The Broncos, top to bottom on the roster, look like definitely a playoff team that could be even better than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if Denver wins the division. There's a hot take for you. I know the Chiefs still exist, but I don't think it changes what Jim Harbaugh is going to do. Look, he's going to run the ball. We didn't even talk about Najee Harris, who I saw working off to the side yesterday, obviously dealing with that eye injury from a firework. Can we not do fireworks? Like, come on. Haven't we learned our lessons from JPP?
No.
He was working out, doing more yesterday than he had been doing. He's still on the NFI. Hopefully he comes off soon. But as you're mentioning, Omarion Hampton, who I remember covering, he went to Cleveland, right? I believe he did in North. They used to play Wake Forest.
Oh, okay.
If I'm remembering correctly. I remember him in high school, and obviously now he was the Chargers' first-round pick. They love him. He's been great. He even surprised some of the veterans. Khalil Mack was talking about the way he runs in practice and was impressed. So if Khalil Mack is impressed, I'm impressed. They're still going to run the ball. I don't think it changes what they do with Rashawn out. Like I said, Joe Alt, he's a left tackle. He'll be fine. We'll see what happens with Mackay. But I think it'll be fine as long as they get consistency. That's what you need on the O-line.
Final thing for Bridget Condon. I appreciate your time. Let me go to the other team in L.A. What is the deal with Matthew Stafford? I know he had an epidural. He's got disc problems in his back. He's well into his 30s. I think when healthy, I think he's still great. He is a top 5, 6, 7 quarterback in the league when healthy. And they could be a sneaky Super Bowl team if he's healthy. But where are we with that?
Yeah, I'm just shocked that Matthew and I both got epidurals this offseason. Wasn't thinking that we would be in common in that regard, but love it. Another reason to root for him, the man who can be humble enough to take the epidural. No, I was out there at practice when they played with the Cowboys 2 weeks ago now, and in talking with people, Sean McVay is a coach on the spectrum, on the side where he's not going to play people in the preseason, right? Some coaches believe in it, some don't. He's very much in the don't category. He's not putting Matthew Stafford out there, because think about it. This guy's 37 years old. He's been hit so many times. He doesn't need to play in the preseason. Let's just be extra cautious. All that I've been told and hearing is that he will be ready for week 1. I know that more has come out about his back. I say don't freak out unless he's not practicing Wednesday of week 1. I think he'll be fine. As you mentioned, he's very accurate, one of the best quarterbacks in the league when healthy. And I think when guys get to this age, you have to practice less. And because you want to be protected, you want to be healthy come January, come December. I agree with you that the Rams are a sneaky good team. On paper, I think the Eagles are the only other team that I would say is stronger than them. But I love talking about the Ravens, so maybe I can't say that. But the Rams are going to surprise a lot of people. They got a lot of they have a young defense that's only getting better.
I'm with you. I love the Rams. And I love Bridget.
They just had so many espresso shots. I feel like I'm talking a million miles a minute. Sorry,
no, you're
guys.
fine. No, you're very good. Go. You're wanted back on set. Bridget Condon, NFL Network, at Bridget Condon on Twitter. Hug Ava for us, and I'll talk to you soon.
Also, we're happy she wasn't named Jaden Daniels, right?
Yes. We discussed that, I think, the last time we talked, though.
Yeah,
but maybe,
we did.
I don't know.
We did.
That could have just been a text.
Oh, my God. All right, well, let's talk soon.
You got it. Take care.
All right, bye.
Bridget Condon, the best. She did have an epidural.
I know. That got me. That was good.
It happens.
It's a good one.
So good. All right, when we come back, another star, Danny Kannell, will talk college football. The former Florida State maestro will weigh in on the ACC, the preseason poll, the playoff, who knows what else. Danny Kannell next.
From the heels,
touchdown Carolina,
to the canes.
She scores!
He covers it all. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. We're in the preseason, so me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, are back in the trenches with our podcast, Panthers Playbook. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Panthers news as training camp rolls forward. Insight on the rookies, the fresh free agents and surprises, plus all the insider info on the upcoming season. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
This is the first morning in what feels like forever that we haven't woken up to it raining outside. So let's utilize the day, people. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here from 99.9 The Fan for Law Tigers, and I know we are all tired of these gray and rainy days. So if you can duck out of work early or maybe hold out until you're off, it looks like a perfect day to break the bike out and make up for some of that lost time. And just like you'd grab the rain gear to prepare for that pop-up rain shower just in case, keep in mind that if you're ever in an accident while you're on your motorcycle, don't call your insurance company first. Call Law Tigers. They're going to set you up the right way because at Law Tigers, they're riders too. They're one of us. They get it. They know the value of your bike, your gear, and the investment that you've made. The insurance company just wants to pay you the least amount possible. So case evaluations are always free and you won't pay a dime until your case is settled. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even I added too much water to the pizza dough day?
Yep.
How about getting a call from my daughter to pick her up at the airport because her boyfriend is unreliable day?
Especially that day.
What about finding out that one of my pipes suddenly burst in my basement day?
Progressive has every day covered 24/7 with the Home and Auto Bundle. Also, you have a lot of bad days.
Oh no, that was all the same day.
At least you're covered with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Kohl's Back to School sale is here with deals on looks your kids will love all year. Because even though they're sad summer is ending, let's be real. Some of us are ready. It's time to trade the all-day PJs and always damp swimsuits for styles that'll keep up and hold up, so your kids will be ready too. Shop Kohl's Back to School sale and bring on the new year. Select styles, prices good through August 17th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated the kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166171 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hi, I'm Michael from the War and Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic, semaglutide injection 0.5 milligrams.
This is Adam Gold.
The American Cornhole League. I don't know if you can wager on it. Let me just go to FanDuel and find out if you can wager on it.
I think I read you can get a scholarship. Kids in high school can actually get scholarships for cornholing. Who knows? I don't know what the technical term
I'm just not going to say anything.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria, producing the program. Yesterday, we talked to Chip Patterson. We talk to Chip every Wednesday. He is the moderator. I call him the moderator of the Cover 3 podcast. It is, for me, I mean, my relationship with Chip might be the reason for this, but it's also the very best college football podcast. And don't you know we have another cast member, Danny Kannell, former Florida State superstar quarterback, joins us on the Adam Gold Show. Man, it's good to talk to you. How are you?
You too, Adam. What's going on, man? Hope you've had a fantastic summer. Thank you for the praise of the Cover 3 pod. We have a blast on there.
Yeah,
we pride ourselves on being one of the best out there too. So thank you for saying that.
No,
man.
you guys are great.
It's good to catch up. Thank you.
And you are one who is willing and able to carry we'll call it a flag for the Atlantic Coast Conference. All right. Where is the ACC now? How big a deal is it that it looks like Clemson, with a lot of pressure on them, I think more pressure on them than there is on any team in the country. But if they come through and really contend all year, does the ACC's reputation get a lift?
I hope so. To be clear, I will carry the flag for the ACC, but I will not be an ACC shill.
Right.
Like, there are some people out there that, that the SEC is king no matter what. You will never hear them breathe a word of negativity about the SEC. I usually call it like I see it, so and I do think it's a critical year for the ACC. I'm a little bit worried about some of the teams and getting two teams into the college football playoff like they did last year. I'm a little bit worried they could be a one big league, but I do think there's some teams and some programs that need to step up, and one of them, probably more so than others, is Clemson. This is a team that was 0-3 against the SEC last year, right? They got smoked against Georgia. They lost to South Carolina at home, and they lost to Texas. Now, they beat SMU, and they got in, which allowed the ACC to get those two teams in the playoff. But I do like this squad, and I find myself rooting for Dabo Swinney because I like his philosophy. He's taken a lot of heat and criticism for not going to the portal and just loading up on talent, which they probably could. Now, he's loosened up a little bit. They got a few guys that I think can really contribute. But I like somebody who's trying to build a culture that, that preaches team over individual. So I find myself wanting that to work, but I also am recognizing they do have a roster that looks like it's ready to go against the biggest, schools in the country. They've got a couple guys on the defensive line that I think are first-round talents. Cade Klubnik, I'm a big fan of their quarterback. They have one of the best receiving corps in the country. So they've got the chops to go out there and make some noise, and we're about to find out because I mentioned the 0-3 streak against the SEC. You, I'm sure, are aware of the game they have against LSU in their backyard. Will be a huge opportunity for Clemson and the ACC to say, all right, our best can go against your best any day of the week.
Danny Kannell is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show, Cover 3 podcast, Sirius XM, at Danny Kannell on Twitter. I also think it's a big year for Mario Cristobal and Miami. Now, SMU's got an easier schedule, although they're non-conference. That Baylor game for SMU is going to be a big-time challenge at the start of the season. Miami's got Notre Dame to open. If Miami does something silly, and I think if Carson Beck is healthy and reverts to the Carson Beck of 2 seasons ago, maybe Miami's got something there. Miami can win that game. How far does that go to changing the narrative?
Oh, it's big. I don't think it's as big as their game that they have, the 4th game of the season against the Florida Gators. Now, even saying that, see, this is what bothers me because last year Miami beat Florida 41-17 in Gainesville. Yep. And it becomes an afterthought. Everybody's like, oh, Florida wasn't that good. But then Florida wins a couple games at the end of the season, and they gain all this hype because they beat Ole Miss and LSU at home. And everybody's like, oh, Florida must be a great team. And they're like, well, that wasn't the same team that the Hurricanes beat. So it kind of you almost can't win in some of these arguments. But those are 2 massive opportunities for Miami to prove that this year is going to be a little bit different than others because Miami still has not won an ACC championship, right? And it's got to be frustrating for Mario Cristobal, for Miami Hurricane fans, for the ACC commissioner, Jim Phillips, for thinking you were going to get a perennial national contender when they came into the league to somebody who hasn't been able to win the conference. It is pretty jarring even to think that could be possible. And you mentioned some of their pieces. I am not as sold on Carson Beck. I do worry about a couple things. One, he is coming off a major elbow surgery that we see happen in baseball all the time. We haven't really seen it too many times in baseball or in football, but the reports are that he looks great. I'm a little bit worried about what I saw last year on the field, but also what I heard from some of the Georgia players. And basically what I heard was nothing backing up their quarterback when he got hurt. His teammates at Georgia were almost celebrating like, hey, now we're gonna rally around our backup quarterback. And Georgia, by the way, they can keep anybody they want to. They were willing to let Carson Beck walk out that door. There's an intangible factor that I'm just curious. Does he have the leadership that a player like Cam Ward did last year, who was very clearly the alpha, the guy that Miami players were willing to run a wall through, at least on the offense side of the ball? The defense was a sieve, so it didn't carry over to that side of the ball. But I do think Miami has spent in the portal to put a roster out there that should be competitive. My fear for them is that when you have that type of program where you hire mercenaries, you have these hired guns, and I can say this from experience, when it doesn't go well, do they really care that much after they can't win the ACC or they can't make the playoffs? And I thought that's what happened with Florida State. They lose the opener. They're kind of shell-shocked. They lose the Boston College, and the next thing you know, they're kind of all playing for the paycheck, and then you're 2-10. And I'm not saying they'll be 2-10, but if they lose to Notre Dame, which they are an underdog, if they lose to Florida, they start the season 2-2. I just wonder, does that team get off the mat? Do they rebound? Do they still fight? Because they do have they have a tricky game against Florida State, which they should win. Florida State's a big question mark, but they've got Louisville. They have a road game against SMU. I just worry about the mentality of that team if it doesn't go well. I think they're a front-running team. If I knew they were going to beat Notre Dame, I like them against Florida State, and I like them to be, right back in that ACC championship game playing against Clemson. But if they don't, I've got my concerns about them.
Let me ask you a quick question about the Florida State-Miami rivalry. And by the way, I spent a lot of we'll use an old newspaper term here. I spent a lot of column inches on this show saying, how come people are not talking about Miami versus Indiana for that? It wasn't a last at-large playoff spot, but Miami's only two losses last year were to Georgia Tech, in the who beat Florida State, should have beaten Georgia, and frankly, that loss, and then to a 10-win Syracuse team on the road in the season finale, and Miami was not even a discussion for a possibility for playoff. And I'm not necessarily advocating for them, but if you're going to advocate for Alabama with 3 losses, including a blowout loss at 500 Oklahoma, then we should have at least mentioned Miami in the conversation, especially with a couple of their wins. But that's last year, and we'll look ahead to this year. But let me ask you about your experience.
Trust me, I was right there with you on that argument, and people were kind of surprised. I'm a Florida State guy. Why would I make that case? I thought they got completely overlooked, and this is one thing that drives me nuts when we're supposed to talk about resumes. Your resume is supposed to be your complete body of work, but there is such a recency bias that it's such a flawed argument, because then they'll say, well, it's the best teams right now. Who is the best teams now? But if Notre Dame had lost to Northern Illinois in week 11, I don't think Notre Dame gets in the playoff. But the fact that they lost that game the second week of the season, they're able to win out.
Right.
Everyone forgets about that game. If Miami had started 1-2 against Georgia Tech and Syracuse and Wake Forest, let's say Wake Forest, there was only win, and then on the back end they started to beat teams like Louisville. They blew out Florida State. They blew out Duke. They had that 41-17 winning, and that's all you remembered. I think Miami would have had a much better case. It's just sort of a flaw of the system. But I think the lesson you learn is you can't lose 2 out of the last 3 games. Yeah. I don't care who you are. You just can't lose 2 out of your last 3.
No doubt about it. And I'm still surprised, and we're going to see this with Penn State, although maybe a different animal than Indiana, that Indiana played nobody outside the league, had maybe the easiest conference schedule overall that we have ever seen from a Power 4 school. And it was but they played so well against it. And I'm at some point, this is why I always argue that there's no mechanism in college football that really rewards a good non-conference schedule. And I'll bring up this stat. There were 10 teams in the Power Four last year that did not play a non-conference game against a this year. There are 10 schools that will not play a Power Four non-conference game. Six of them are from the Big Ten. Wake Forest and Ole Miss, who, by the way, Wake canceled a series with Ole Miss, are also on the list. Wake's the only ACC team. There are 11 that play 2 non-conference games against the Power Four. All 11 are from the ACC, and I keep saying, why? Why do we do this? It's at the expense. If you don't win the game, if you win the games, enough of them, that's fine. But if you don't, if you go 5-17 against that group, now you got a terrible league. Well, we got to stop scheduling all those games.
I agree. You have to, and Lincoln Riley took a bunch of heat for this, but the Big Ten coaches were actually, we just saw Kirk Cignetti in Indiana. They canceled a series with Virginia for crying out loud. Like they canceled it. And he was like, you know what? We're just trying to schedule like the SEC teams are. And he's not wrong. And their schedule, once again, is a joke. By the way, go look at the non-conference games that the last 2 national champions played. Ohio State's non-conference this past year was a joke. The year before that, it was Michigan. Their non-conference was a joke. I'm talking 3 blowouts. And guess who else? Penn State this year, their first 3 games are total cakewalks. They played Nevada, FIU, and Villanova. Now, I will make the argument for the Big Ten. They'll say, well, we played 9 conference games, right? That's their counter. And they're trying to make the SEC play 9 conference games. Do you want to fix it? Here's how you fix it, Adam. I have a couple different suggestions of what I could do, but you just make it a requirement that you have to play 10 Power 4 opponents to be eligible for the playoff. That's all you have to do. Just make it a requirement. And then we don't have to say, well, how many conference games do you play? I don't care how many you want to play against how many the ACC plays, how many the SEC. You just have to play 10 Power 4 opponents to be eligible for the playoff. That'll fix the problem because you might have a team like an Indiana who, when they scheduled those games last year, I don't think they thought they were a playoff team. They just wanted to get back on track, which I understand. Like, you want to build some goodwill. Well, that's all well and good, but if you want to be a playoff team, you've got to do 10 Power 4 games at minimum. So then they couldn't back out of a series versus Virginia. They would be, all right, you guys are in the big boys now. You want to play in the playoffs again, you have to play those Power 4 games. The best scheduling that I could imagine is when there is not a conference commissioner, a college football commissioner, and a committee or some sort of office that dictates the schedules for everybody, because I don't like how everybody can do their own thing and you can create rivalries and create these games that are sellable. Make it where, and this is all like a pipe dream because it's not going to happen, at least in the next 5 years, but I would actually love every Power 4 conference to play 8 conference games and then have 3 non-conference games. And if you're an ACC team, you play 1 non-con versus the SEC, 1 non-con versus the Big 12, 1 non-con against the Big 10, and then you can play a group of 5 or an FCS or whoever you want in that 12th game. And then guess what? When we come compare those resumes at the end of the season, we have a lot of crossover games with other conferences. We can kind of start seeing how they stacked up against each other. And the resumes, which are so different, it really is comparing apples to oranges. They become a lot more like comparing apples to apples as opposed to what we have now.
No doubt about it. I heard you say that on the Cover 3 podcast. Final thing quickly for Danny Kannell, because I know you have places to be, and I appreciate your time at Danny Kannell on Twitter. What are your expectations for Bill Belichick in year 1?
Oh, my goodness. I wish I knew. I wish I knew because I want it to work. I think Bill Belichick is great for college football. And when he was hired, I saw a lot of people, criticizing it. Oh, this is going to be a disaster. And I was kind of like, no, this guy can coach. He's a football coach. He can, he's got 6 rings. The guy is the best football coach we've ever seen. So I wanted it to work. And then I am worried about some of the off the field stuff. It's very concerning. And just the circus, the atmosphere that's been around them. But also, I look at their roster, and they've done a pretty good job in the portal, rankings-wise. They have the 3rd best portal class in the ACC, so they've got a bunch of players coming. I don't know what to do with the quarterback. Gio Lopez had a pretty good year at South Alabama, but is the answer? I don't know. I tell you where I do think he has the edge. And I do think, like, in their opener against TCU, I would expect Bill Belichick to have a game plan that is going to throw off a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, I played against him. I started against him. The one question I have is, because you want to do a lot of different things because he's a genius mind. And he always put a lot on his defensive players. How do college players handle that? They don't have all day to go to the office and study film and study schemes and get all those different schemes implemented. So that's my one concern. Like, I don't know if this is like just a 7-5 team. I almost feel like it's boom or bust. Like, it either comes together and they're a 9-10 win team, or it falls apart and it's a 4-5 team. And if you said, which way are you leaning? The off-season stuff, the stuff you're hearing, I kind of lean towards the bust this season, but I really hope I'm wrong because I would love to see them competitive.
Danny Kannell, my friend. I appreciate your time, man. We'll check in again. Go hit him straight this afternoon.
All right. Appreciate it, Adam. We'll see you.
You got it. Danny Kannell here on the Adam Gold Show. I like his proposal. You'll never convince the powers that be in college football to schedule that way. And I think he said Curt Cignetti, the Indiana coach, said that we want to schedule like the SEC. They don't schedule like the SEC. I know it's going to sound weird, but the SEC schedules properly. They do play at least one. Most of them don't play two. But they almost all play at least one legitimate non-conference game. So when Georgia plays Clemson, yeah, Clemson has not been vintage. That's a legitimate non-conference game. And yes, they have Georgia Tech at the end, which historically has been a Georgia Bulldog win. But if Georgia Tech, and there have been pockets where Georgia Tech was good, and that game is problematic, and the Yellow Jackets have won some, Florida and Miami. Florida also plays Florida State at the end of the year. So there's a little bit of, I can say what I want because I won't be challenged, which is what Curt Cignetti is getting away with. Because if as a reporter, if you are paying attention to what he's saying, we just want to schedule like the SEC, well, then do it, which means that you play at least one good non-conference game. Alabama, year in, year out, has played at least one high-quality non-conference game. Texas is doing it. Most of these teams do it. Do the Mississippi States of the world do it? No. But most do. And certainly just about all of the contenders do. So let me answer the question by deflecting it on something else, hoping that I won't be called on my BS, because that's really what that is. And I'm not mad at Curt Cignetti. What I am mad at is that, and I keep saying this, college football should have a mechanism, and theoretically it's supposed to. Eyeballs. Like the people who watch. Like, wait a second, Indiana went 11-1. They played one really good team and got beat. Everybody else they played was mediocre at best. Why do we reward that? Because the only thing that matters is your record. Which is why when I see the ACC having 11 teams that play two Power 4 opponents, I go, why are we doing this? Why is Virginia playing Tennessee? Why you do that? You want to play a team in the SEC? Go play Vanderbilt. You could lose that game, by the way. Vanderbilt's not terrible. But that's not what we do. And we pat ourselves in the back going 5-17 in those 22 games. I'm just joking. I mean, hopefully the ACC will do no worse than breaking even. If the ACC can go 11-11 in the Power 4 games, I think it'll be in good shape. I guess I've said this before. we will determine the value of ACC wins, conference wins, based on what happens in the first 3 weeks of the season, where most teams are playing their top non-conference games. We will see what the value of an ACC win is after week 3. And we are not that far away from week 1 beginning. As a matter of fact, the beginning of week 1, which some people will call week 0, is a week from Saturday. And for the most part, the league starts 2 weeks from today. ACC football starts 2 weeks from today. We will break. We will place bets. I'm trying to think if it was a good day or not yesterday. I don't remember. And we'll also stretch next.
Talking sports so you don't have to pretend to know stuff. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available. If you feel lonely, isolated, anxious, or overwhelmed, help is here all day and night. Call, text, or chat 988 without cost, without judgment, and without waiting for an appointment. You'll get support that can make a difference. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org. Make this your best summer yet by having fun while staying active and engaged. AARP can help. Find AARP events near you by visiting aarp.org/local. That's aarp.org/local to find both in-person and virtual events. You can also learn more about living your best life by listening to AARP Without Limits, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Did you know? Atlantic hurricane season runs through November. From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. We're celebrating the 10th anniversary of Healthy People, Healthy Carolinas, a powerful initiative from the Duke Endowment that supports community-based coalitions working together to improve health. In our latest episode, produced in partnership with the North Carolina Healthcare Association, Jordan Fry of Healthy Together Cleveland tells us how HPHC is making a difference in her county.
It means everybody's at the table. Healthcare providers like Atrium Health, the county's health department, our food pantries, our school systems, colleges, cooperative extension, farmers markets, but most importantly, our residents. Everybody has a role to play, and Healthy Together Cleveland acts as the connector.
Learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Healthcare? Why?
Why is it so hard?
Healthcare is broken.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all, starting with you.
Really?
Really. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting all your benefits, prescriptions, and details on your computer and phone. Convinced?
No, but it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina, making healthcare better for all, starting with you.
Why choose a family physician? Because they provide healthcare expertise for the entire family, care for acute and chronic disease, treat all ages, and most importantly, keep you healthy. In fact, adults with a family physician have lower healthcare costs, better health outcomes, and are hospitalized less frequently. Family physicians, your trusted healthcare advisor for you and your family for life. Brought to you by the NC Academy of Family Physicians.
This is Adam Gold.
While I'm watching Colombia, Uruguay, not only the end of that match, but the fight in the stands after it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heard it got spicy.
That was the most excited fans we have seen in 5 years at Bank of America Stadium. Man, look at all the happy people at Bank of America.
Just took the other kind of football.
Yeah, there you go. More of that.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Next hour, Konata Edwards, our friend Nada the Scribe from CBS Sports, on what the challenges might be for Tom Dundon assuming ownership of an NBA franchise. For those people who do not know, Dundon was, the news story came out yesterday that he has an agreement in place and will become the majority owner of the Portland Trailblazers. It's a deal that's worth a little bit more than $4 billion. I think there are people surprised that at that amount, which is, honestly, this is probably 3 times what the Hurricanes are worth. The valuation came from Sportico for the Hurricanes at $1.29 billion. Remember, he bought them for about, I think it was like $450 million. He also assumed the debt. And so they basically more than doubled in value in the last 7 years. 8 years. 8 years? 8 years. And the Sportico had a valuation on the Trailblazers of $3.66 billion. So he bought it for a little bit more than $4 billion. I guess if we were drawing a comparison, if the Hurricanes were sold, maybe Tom could get $1.5 billion for the Hurricanes. But I don't believe he's in any way, shape, or form interested in selling the Hurricanes, especially with everything that's about to happen along that stretch of land,
big time,
which he has a major financial stake in. He ain't selling the Hurricanes. Some people have speculated that he might move the Blazers here. I don't see that happening. I don't see how the Hurricanes, NC State, and the Portland Trailblazers can share an arena.
All being black and red. That's the only thing that would be helpful.
I joked with Tom about that.
Yeah.
I did. I joked with him. I said, hey, you don't have to change your wardrobe.
Yep.
You just slap a Blazers logo right over what you got.
Exactly.
Although it's not Adidas.
Oh.
The NBA is not an Adidas league, right? It's a Nike league. Anyway, I'm looking forward to kind of from afar watching what's going to go on there. But it's not going to impact the Hurricanes. For Hurricanes fans who are wondering, I think at the very least, it should tell you that the Hurricanes are operating pretty smoothly. So, and Eric Tulsky's doing a great job as the GM. And whether he'll be hands-on or not with the Trailblazers, I don't know. It also doesn't impact his interest or Raleigh's interest in Major League Baseball. But it might be an indication that Major League Baseball doesn't exactly share the interest in Raleigh. That's just a hunch. Anyway, it's time to stretch.
Okay, so I know people really, really, really want to hear more about Taylor Swift and her appearance on the New Heights podcast, so I'm here to help you.
By the way, that was the lead on the McAfee show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, it's fitting. So, like we've already talked about, it did break the internet. There were 1.3 million fans that tuned in to this. Live.
Yeah.
Live. Now it's been way more.
I was not one of those who joined live. I just couldn't.
No.
I watched a little bit more than half of it this morning.
Yes. And it was, if you're curious how long it went, it was 1 hour and 44 minutes. They did say it blacked out for a minute, but then they were back on, so there you go. Also, some takeaways from it. So this was her sharing the cover of her 12th album, The Life of a Showgirl. You've probably seen the pictures. And there's going to be 4 different CDs, each with a different cover and accessory. And so she shared her 12-song track list. Also featuring Sabrina Carpenter. I know she's really popular around the world.
She's on the title track.
Yes, so she's going to be there. And the release date is October 3rd, so prepare yourself if you hate Taylor Swift, because October 3rd is going to be a big day.
10 plus 3 equals?
13,
there
which
you
is
go.
her favorite number.
Yeah.
And also, she said, however, there will not be 13 songs. There's not going to be any bonus songs, but there's not going to be a 13th song. She said this record she's been wanting to do for a while, and I guess it's just perfect with 12. So she also, I don't know if you saw anything about the color orange.
Yeah, she's into orange.
Yes, I did not realize this, but she's really into orange, and if you're wondering why, she said, quote, "It feels like kind of energetic in how my life has felt." So that's, I don't know if she's just feeling an aura or something, and that's what she was talking about. But yeah, so orange is a thing. Travis, also, if you want to know his opinion on things, of course, he's not going to say anything bad, but he did say that these 12 songs are, quote, bangers.
Yeah. He's a fan.
Of course, yeah. He said it's a lot more upbeat and it's a lot more fun pop like excitement, and so I think it's a complete 180 from a lot of the songs on Tortured Poets, for sure. That's coming from Travis. That was his quote. That's Travis.
Did he review the album?
I guess.
I missed that part.
I have not listened to the Tortured Poets album, but he says that it's a banger. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then if you need one more fun fact about Taylor, she's making sourdough bread. So she's obsessed with sourdough bread.
Sourdough bread. Yeah, what did she said? Are you ready for it?
Oh, look at that.
She went into like dad joke mode.
I love it. I'm here
she
for
plays
it.
beer pong too.
Heck yeah. I love that. How can you not love it? So there you go. There you go.
I felt it's been an enjoyable listen.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm curious. I'll probably, maybe over the weekend watch it or something, but who knows? We'll see. Hopefully also over the weekend and maybe tonight, we make some good bets.
Place your bets. Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
Yeah, I won the Brewers game because betting on the Brewers is automatic. So I got to find out if I won the Reds and the under 8.5.
Yeah.
But I won the Brewers game.
Well, hey, my Cubbies won a game. So
For
there
you.
we go.
But they didn't gain any ground because Milwaukee won again.
No, but still, it's good for my soul. So we'll go with that. I'm hoping this is the start of their streak. So let's go with the Cubs to win again, please. And we'll take the over 8. Because I just want them to go crazy. And then that's plus 205. Yeah.
All right.
It's a stretch.
Not me. They are giving away money today. Ooh. I don't know if you knew this. The Braves are at the Mets this evening, 7:15 start. I don't care who's pitching. The Braves are plus 164.
Did they win their game yesterday?
Braves won.
Okay.
Yeah. Mets had a 6-0 lead and lost.
Oh, yeah.
11-6.
Well, I know about that.
Braves are plus 164. Mets pitching is gone. Braves over 8.5.
Whoa.
Plus 326.
Whoa.
I mean, if they're giving you money,
you might as well take it.
You should take it. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They had this set pretty high. The Arizona Diamondbacks are in Colorado taking on the Rockies, who they're just not good. So give me the Diamondbacks. It's set at 12.5. I'm going to take the under because that seems excessive. That's plus 210.
All right. Tigers are in Minnesota. I know Minnesota's no good, but they're great value at home. So give me the Twins at home over 7.5, and that is plus 424. Why not? I'm not as confident on that one as I am on the Braves beating the Mets and beating up Mets pitching, but take it under advisement.
Chapel Hill to Charlotte, Greenville to Greensboro. Your sports, his state. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hi, it's Adam Gold from my friend Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. I gave you a quiz yesterday. I thought I would give some of you an opportunity to make up the quiz if you did poorly on it the first time. So, multiple choice question. What is the best place to get a mortgage? A, Miller Lending. B, Miller Lending. C, Miller Lending. D, all of the above. You're right. It's Miller Lending. So the answer is D, since I said Miller Lending 3 times. Why? You don't ever pay closing costs. You save thousands. Then, when you refinance with a clear mind because you haven't wasted thousands of your own dollars already, you refinance free of charge, lower your monthly payment, and you pay less per month. Oh, glorious. Miller Lending. Well done. You got an A. Miller Lending. On Kildare Farm Road in Cary since 1996. An equal housing lender, NMLS ID 250-2146.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
We are knocking on the door of the regular season for the Carolina Panthers, and there are still so many questions on the defensive depth chart. The depth, the second unit. What happens if someone gets hurt? For the Carolina Panthers defense is the type of question where the answers are harrowing. You don't want to see them. It's like the end of a horror movie. Just roll credits.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Looking for a big new game to play? Well, there's no game bigger than the new dino-sized Jurassic Park scratch-off from the North Carolina Education Lottery, which gives you a chance to win up to $200,000 instantly. And if that weren't enough, you can enter for a chance to win an exciting trip to beautiful Hawaii, where you could win up to $1 million. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Adventure awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.28. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get it Wi-Fi.
Yes,
immediately.
We need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I live and work on both coasts, travel the country. Here's the deal. There's nothing like Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, including half-price pizzas Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and a $6 Bloody Mary on Sunday. Dine in, carry out, get it delivered. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to protect people's health, to preserve magnificent places and wildlife, and to combat climate change. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice. Because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back, that one going, gone!
Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Manny Diaz pointed out correctly that if you are a senior, you've seen 26 wins in 3 years.
Yeah.
You've rushed the field multiple times. The idea of Duke football being a winning program, winning product, if you're a senior on that campus, that is the expectation. They retain talent at a really high level. They are very, very experienced. What we've seen from Manny Diaz in terms of being able to maintain that standard in year one, I think they're going to carry that over to this year.
It's the Adam Gold Show. Hi, everyone. I am Adam Gold. Victoria's on the ones and twos. We're going to do a wall of sound here. You may or may not hear clips from a podcast last night. But you will also hear... Let me just pull it up. You'll also hear about the Tom Dundon purchase of the Portland Trailblazers, and a little bit from Tom Brady on what Tar Heel fans and players, really, should expect with Bill Belichick. So we have all that coming up in the Wall of Sound. And Konata Edwards, not of the Scribe, will join us in just a few minutes, and we'll talk about Tom Dundon and ownership of an NBA franchise. Before we start any of that, so Mike Vrabel, the coach of the New England Patriots, I guess it's his birthday coming up. They asked him about birthday cake, and he said there was only one cake qualified for his birthday cake.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to guess what that is?
Is it vanilla?
No.
Oh.
Carrot.
I love him even more. I love carrot cake.
You and me, right?
Yeah.
That is like, I don't know. I'm not saying that because my birthday's coming up soon.
Yeah. I thought it was today. My phone let me
today.
know a week early.
What is today's date? It's a week from today.
Yeah, it is. Wow.
So,
I'm telling you what.
I'll be here. We'll celebrate here.
Okay.
So I have no idea. And I'm pretty sure my wife's not listening, but a lot of her clients do listen. So I'm not saying that my wife is going to make me a carrot cake. I'm not saying that because I don't know. She has in the past. But she knows that if she asks, what cake would you like for your birthday, it would be that.
Right.
To me, it's the best cake.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, people have hot takes.
I know.
So,
always have hot takes.
Coach Rock, who I don't know if he's a real coach or not, he might be a great coach.
Depends on this opinion.
Says carrot cake might not even crack the top 10 of cakes. So,
disgrace.
I'm going to read this. Red velvet. I like red velvet.
Sure.
No, I do. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Red velvet. Double chocolate.
No.
Whoa. Have you had the Costco double chocolate cake?
Okay, I haven't, and I do like Costco cake.
Whoa.
That might change my mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But not better than carrot cake.
No.
Cheesecake. Love cheesecake.
Yeah.
Love it. Not better than carrot cake. No. Sour cream. Now we're getting into all the things you can get at Starbucks. Sour cream pound cake, Black Forest cake. I'm not sure what Black Forest cake is.
It's got cherries. It's like chocolate cake with cherries.
Oh, I like that. I like that in ice cream. That's actually my chocolate cherry is my cookout shake. Mm-hmm. Strawberry cake. What?
Okay, I like strawberry cake. A good one. I used to work at a
strawberry
bakery.
shortcake.
Oh, well, see, but there's different.
Okay.
There's strawberry cake and strawberry shortcake. Two different things.
Yeah, it's not better than carrot cake. Turtle cake. Okay. German chocolate cake. I'm going to get back to that. Lemon blueberry. This is, again, it's a pound cake. Chocolate pound cake. All stuff you can get for $4 a slice at Starbucks. It says all clear carrot cake. Mm-hmm. Carrot cake would be below them. I'm not going to get into each cake here, but I'm just going to say this. And in advance, I apologize if if this description is too graphic.
Mm-hmm.
German chocolate cake, to me, is like somebody didn't feel well near a cake.
Yeah, you have to like coconut for German chocolate.
It's not even the coconut.
Mm.
I have a problem with the texture of
Mm-hmm.
coconut. Like I don't mind the taste of coconut at all.
Yeah.
But the texture gets me.
Yeah.
But it just looks like, oh man, sorry you didn't feel well near that cake.
Mm-hmm.
Now the cake's ruined.
Mm-hmm.
That's what German chocolate cake looks like to me. So you can miss me with all your.
It's a very bougie list too. Like
Fine.
throwing out turtle cake. Like what do we? What?
Isn't that an ice cream?
What? Where's the confetti cake? People out there are probably screaming yes because hello, confetti cake, delicious with the little. I don't even know if it's real, but the little dots in the icing, like.
None of these are real.
What kind of fake thing that is, but it's delicious. It's my childhood. Like that wasn't in the top 10. His opinion's invalid to me.
Carrot cake is just amazing.
So good, and you can mess it up too. You can mess up carrot cake. Okay.
It's a complicated cake.
And if you don't have cream cheese, icing, frosting, whatever you want to call it, you're doing it wrong. Just saying.
There's another icing.
Oh yeah, some people like to put buttercream, and I'm like, who hurt you?
Just make a different cake.
Yeah.
Don't mess it up. Don't mess with my carrot cake. Do we have time for Wall of Sound? Let's try.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about
it. Larry, does carrot cake even count as a cake?
Ooh, it does have vegetables in it, so maybe it's nutritious.
It does have shredded carrot.
I can get down with that.
Yeah. You can. It checks off a lot of boxes, parts of the pyramid.
Yes.
I guess. I don't know.
Carbs, veggies.
All right, let's deal with the serious stuff first. We'll have time later on, possibly, if we don't do it here, to give you a broader taste of what happened online last night. Who is Sean Highkin? I don't know who Sean Highkin is, but this is about the sale of the Portland Trailblazers because fans were worried that the team might leave.
Fans were certainly worried about it, and there were certain, local media outlets that were playing into that a lot. I personally never really thought it was that much of a possibility, but I still think the chances aren't zero that it could happen, but I think a lot would have to go wrong for it to happen. But it sure seems, and it's always kind of seemed to me that there was going to be some negotiations around either a new arena or a major renovation to the Moda Center, but that's going to probably be the main thing that would have stood in the way. But I fully expect that to get done, so I don't think that the team moving is a real serious possibility. But it was something people were worried about for a while.
Yeah, I mean, the Blazers haven't been good for a while. By the way, Sean Highkin is considered a Blazers insider locally in Portland, much like some people consider me a Hurricanes insider. Here's Sean on the sale.
I think the timing of it is a little bit of a surprise because when the Paul Allen estate announced a couple of months ago that the team was finally going to officially be put up for sale, they said that the process was expected to drag out into the 25-26 NBA season. So I don't think anybody was expecting there to be a buyer this soon, but I would say generally, especially with there being a lot of messaging already from, people close to the process that this new group intends to keep the team in Portland long term. I would say the vibe from fans and from people that I've talked to is generally very positive right now.
Yeah, everybody's excited when your franchise has kind of languished lately and there's new ownership with a different vision and a track record of success. Tom Dundon has had 7 full seasons as the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes. 3 of those years ended in the conference championship series. Not all the way, but if you've been to the Final Four of your sport 3 times in 7 years, been to the playoffs, and advanced at least 1 round in every season, that is called a history of success. And Portland has really craved that. Tar Heel football fans are craving a new era of football. Tom Brady, I believe this is was it from the Joel Klatt? I think it's from the Joel Klatt podcast or an interview with Joel Klatt. Anyway, Tom Brady was asked by Joel what UNC football players should expect.
What they're going to get is obviously the most prepared, the most hardworking coach that I'd ever been around. If you go to that school, you will be prepared to play at the next level. He's going to teach you the right fundamentals, the right techniques. He's going to have a high expectation for you, and you're going to develop a lot. That's what I know.
I would love to hear a much longer, much more in-depth conversation with not just Brady, because Brady might be more guarded, but Gronkowski, Edelman, former Patriots players about what these players are going to experience being around Bill Belichick for a long period of time. All right, one more thing real quick. Yesterday, I'm not sure you're aware, most people aren't, Taylor Swift appeared on the New Heights podcast. That's the Kelsey Brothers podcast. 1.3 million people watched it live, and almost 10 million, it might be over 10 million at this point, have viewed it in some way, shape, or form since. And she owes a lot, really, to the podcast.
So we're going to ask the question everybody watching the show is currently asking. Why are you coming on the show? Why New Heights? What are you doing? You have so many better things to do with your time.
This podcast has done a lot for me. I owe a lot to this podcast. This podcast got me a boyfriend. ever since Travis decided to use it as his personal dating app about 2 years ago. So
Worked pretty good.
yeah, hey.
Were his friendship bracelets that good? Did you give the friendship bracelets, or was that just on the podcast?
I've never seen
Yeah,
the original.
they didn't leave the stadium because I was butthurt, Jason.
He threw a tantrum. He threw a man tantrum.
Get these
out of here.
It's so funny. It's
My
like
plan
also,
is ruined.
She
like-
loves me. She loves me not. She loves me. She loves me not.
so
she
wild.
hates me.
Like, it was such a wild romantic gesture to just be like, I don't want to date you.
I'm telling you, it was fascinating. I'm not done with it yet. I'll finish it up maybe on my drive home. It was an interesting listen, and judge me if you want. When we come back, I meant to ask Danny Kannell if he watched it at all. I'll bet you Konata Edwards has watched at least a few clips of it. But we're going to talk to him about owning an NBA team, which Tom Dundon is about to do. Next.
Making more sports sense than social media trolls. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
We are knocking on the door of the regular season for the Carolina Panthers, and there are still so many questions on the defensive depth chart. The depth, the second unit. What happens if someone gets hurt? For the Carolina Panthers defense is the type of question where the answers are harrowing. You don't want to see them. It's like the end of a horror movie. Just roll credits.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Summer is for pool visits, vacations, and finally taking that adventure you've been putting off. I'm Victoria Voetnecker here for Law Tigers, and one thing I've learned over my time riding motorcycles, or really just any vehicle in general, is you can try to plan for as much as possible when figuring out your next trip, but no one wants to think about the steps you have to take after getting into a wreck. And the reality is, riding your motorcycle comes with that risk, despite all of the benefits it also brings. But one important thing to remember if you're ever in that situation of getting into an accident on your motorcycle that wasn't your fault, always call Law Tigers first before calling your insurance company. At Law Tigers, they're riders too. They understand the lifestyle. They understand the value of your bike and your gear. They know what it's like to go through an accident. So case evaluations are always free, and you're not going to pay a dime until your case is settled. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or 2 Bird Dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated the kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166171 on approved credit. credit. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
This is Adam Gold.
Steve Bettman take all that time to walk out, then to see the pick bro hug no less than 20 guys on his way up there. And then this draft house, they just moved this wall like the Price is Right. I don't know.
It's a showcase showdown back there.
I know.
That would be great. So we should spin a wheel,
Yeah.
right? Exactly.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. So a number of people are questioning me on Twitter about carrot cake being the best cake, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, you know what? Somebody said, is carrot cake even a cake? It's a vegetable masquerading as a dessert. I appreciate the take. So I simply did this. I kid you not. I simply typed into my Google search, best cakes ranked.
Oh.
BuzzFeed. Number 1, carrot cake.
Yes, BuzzFeed.
Eat it.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yes, literally.
Eat it. Number 2, molten lava cake.
Okay.
It's very good.
Yeah, it is.
Number 3, chocolate cake. And this is a double chocolate cake.
See,
also very good. Yeah. Number 4, funfetti cake.
Oh, yeah,
That's your
here we
cake.
go. Here
That's
we
your
go.
cake. Number 5, German chocolate cake.
Oh.
I want you to look at the picture and tell me if I didn't describe it accurately.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you weren't feeling well.
Oh, yeah. Not good.
Number 6, coconut. We can go throughout. Cheesecake was 12th. I think cheesecake is criminally underrated.
Maybe. I guess when I think cake, I don't think cheesecake. I put that's a different category.
Yeah. It's cheesecake is less cake. There's ice cream cake on here too. Look, people my age, we know what Fudgy the Whale was. I don't know if Nada the Scribe remembers Fudgy the Whale from his days back in the tri-state area, because that was a Tom Carvel thing. But how are you, sir?
I am good. I am good. I have an issue with this list. Like three of the top 5 are chocolate, are all some form of chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Like they're basically chocolate cake. Let's get some more variety in here.
I agree with you.
I understand molten chocolate cake is a beautiful delight, but it's the same thing as chocolate cake. If you want to tell me, where's Devil's Food Cake in all this? Edmund's Devil's Food Cake is a top 2 dessert. And again, I know if anyone knows what I'm talking about, is my friend Adam Gold right now.
A devil dog. A devil dog arguably is the greatest snack cake in the history of mankind. But you need, it's 1 glass of milk per devil dog minimum. Anything different in the ratio, and you're probably not surviving the entire thing. Real quick before I get into Tom Dundon, did you watch any of Taylor Swift on New Heights?
I was too busy editing my. Honestly, I'll be dead honest. I was too busy editing our Mark Pope interview on college basketball. I was cheap plug. I was way too deep into editing that to get to Taylor. I'm probably going to get to it later today, but I have not seen it yet. But I've seen some of the social clips. I do find it very, very fascinating, and I'm waiting for all the outrage over something she said, something innocuous that she said.
I'm sure there will be. I've enjoyed it. It's long. It's almost 2 hours. I'm almost an hour and 20 minutes in. All right, let me get to the story yesterday, and I thought of you immediately because I know it's going to seem to a lot of people to be very similar. Tom Dundon, owner of the Carolina Hurricanes, is soon to be, because it's not official yet, the owner of the Portland Trailblazers, or head of an ownership group of the Portland Trailblazers. I don't know what the breakdown is. We'll find out over time, but there's a lot of private equity money in that group as well. And I just feel like these are, even though we're talking about sports ownership, I think the path to success in the NBA is way different than your path to success in the NHL. And this is the way I put it. In the NHL, you can get by with a bunch of very good players that play as a team. I don't think you can get by like that in the NBA. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, but I do think that we're going to see a landscape shift, mainly because of the CBA. The biggest thing that we're seeing right now is those two, three max player super teams.
Right.
Those are basically functionally illegal thanks to the new CBA. You're going to go see a lot of these teams that need to build off of depth. It's what makes what Boston's doing right now so fascinating, because they're basically saying, we're going to try and see if we can part all these guys out, the Anthony Simons of the world.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to play them for about, again, 3-4 months. Then we'll deal them off and go get some more assets, go build this depth around Tatum and Jaylen Brown. We'll see if Jaylen Brown is a part of this equation this time next year. But I think we're going to see where you're going to see a lot of basically one max guy, two max guys, and a whole bunch of smaller salaries. So they are building to that depth. You do need that one star, though. That's where I agree with you, where you absolutely need that one star. It's just about figuring it out and finding that top 10 difference maker and then putting everything around him going from there.
It's been 4 years since this will be the fifth year. If the Blazers don't make the playoffs this upcoming season, I don't believe there's grand optimism for it. They haven't made the playoffs since the 2021 season, the season coming out of the pandemic, and they haven't really gone very far in the playoffs. Last time they were in the conference finals was 18-19, but it is a franchise with a proud history dating back to the 70s and 80s and 90s, and fell short in the NBA Finals to the Bulls. But can you exist if even just one superstar? That superstar if that's your only one, that needs to be of the Jason Tatum level. Is Oklahoma City in some ways an example that, I don't know what you think of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's certainly a superstar, but he certainly had a great year. But is that enough if you surround him with just really good players? It was this past year, but historically.
I think the one thing I do want to warn you is OKC is the outlier to this. Sam Presti is a wizard. Let's just get if you're telling me Tom Dundon hires Sam Presti tomorrow, anything is possible with that guy because he's the best executive in basketball, bar none. Let's get that straight from that. But Oklahoma City is the outlier because they spent so much time. Again, they got a haul for Paul George, and they've been spinning assets forward, back and forth, and knowing exactly who they want, figuring out the culture. And I think they're much more of an outlier. And the CBA what they did with the lottery and the CBA has made it to where another OKC is almost impossible to build. Because as you're seeing now, you can't intentionally be bad, win 20, 22 games,
right,
and then expect to pick in the top 3. Most likely you're going to end up picking in the top 7. Now, granted, picking from at 5 or 6 is a whole lot different than picking at 1 or 2. And we've seen the Chet Holmgrens show up at number 2 and figuring out Jalen Williams. Oklahoma City is very much an outlier, but it's very possible to go get yourself a star. You just have to be top 3, top 4 at 4 is the floor at where you can absolutely be to guarantee yourself a star in these next couple of drafts.
Nada the Scribe is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Real name, Konata Edwards, CBSSports.com. All right. you were referring to honoring the process or trusting the process in Philadelphia, which we can argue whether it worked or not. I would say.
Oh no, it's that. No.
I would say it didn't.
Failed.
Yeah,
that failed.
That
was an absolute failure, and it's a blight upon the NBA. That quite honestly, I wish that Philly doesn't get derided enough for that. We don't mock them nearly enough for just basically becoming the busted gnome on the front lawn of the NBA that is god awful and ugly. We don't make fun of them for that enough. Because
the worst part about it was that they lost so many games, then they fired the coach. I'm like, wait, he's doing exactly what you asked him to do. How do you fire the coach for losing the games you wanted him to lose?
Between that and then the sad careers of Jahlil Okafor, that basically was never given a chance. Markelle Fultz, that they messed with his career and then you think about Zaire Smith, top 10 pick, that basically never really had a chance because of organizational mismanagement. The thing about tanking, and we've seen it locally in Charlotte a little bit, is that when you start tanking, everything goes. Everything, culture, standards, what have you, and it's so hard to get that back once you lose it.
Konata Edwards is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Here's the other thing about Tom Dundon that he has been able to do in the NHL. He has found, I'll just say, value contracts. We'll just call it that. And I just don't see that is going to work in the NBA with great players, or even players who might be one step below those max salary guys. There's nobody out here trying to take a hometown discount. I mean, you might have Mikal Bridges and Jalen Brunson with the Knicks taking a little bit less, but we're still talking about, what, $30-some-odd million a year.
Yeah.
So there's nobody out there like that, and Dundon has done some of his best work contractually by getting players to take less money.
That is a lot. That is a big portion of this, but also, you bring this up, the salary structures of the NBA and the NHL are very, very different. Where you're going to get those stars on those discount contracts are going to be the guys that were high draft picks, didn't necessarily, flamed out with their original teams that they were drafted, and you're getting them on those league minimums. Though the systems are in place now to where those don't necessarily happen as much, and or you're not necessarily signing these guys, which brings us to the other portion of this that's going to be so fascinating for Tom Dundon going forward, is we're talking about this signing and everything else. Free agency largely doesn't exist in the NBA anymore.
Right.
You're largely trading for these guys, and it's about building the war chest of draft picks to where you sit there and you pounce on a star that a disgruntled star that wants out. So unless you're willing to be patient, stockpile the assets, and then when a disgruntled star wants out, or let's say a Giannis wants out or something like that, and you have the assets to do it, you're not necessarily signing that guy. That guy is going to come at it at his price tag no matter what. It's about the draft picks that you can use to sign that guy. And if you have those, great. If you don't, then I'm sorry, you are out of luck.
Yeah, and we've seen situations where teams have spent a whole lot of draft capital and it didn't work. The Brooklyn Nets, if I'm not mistaken. And you see they bottom out. I have a hard time closing my eyes because I know how, every league is different, so they might have a completely different set of values when they ultimately take over the NBA. And I'm going to ask you one more question about kind of related to the Celtics here in a second, but maybe his value structure with draft picks will be completely different. But I can't close my eyes and think of Tom Dundon authorizing 5 first-round picks to be sent to, I'm making it up, Detroit for Cade Cunningham. No way.
That's cheap for him. That's cheap.
Probably. But I just can't see that happening, knowing how he values draft picks, and he puts a monetary value on draft picks. Now, the number will be different when we get to the NBA. I think that's going to there will be a learning curve for him. I would imagine that it'll be a lot more complicated than it is in the NHL.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be the most fascinating question that I'm going to have is who is Tom Dundon going to put around him? Who are the NBA guys that he's going to put around him? Because he's going to have to put around him guys that will explain, hey, these five first rounders, they're expensive, but that guy is worth it. If you're talking about a Cade Cunningham, you're still talking about a Giannis in the next 1 or 2 years. 5 first rounders is more than worth it because one guy can affect your floor or your ceiling on an NBA team much more than one guy can on an NHL team, for better or worse. You're talking about a guy that may think about Giannis. He may raise your floor 20 to 25 wins. Those guys don't necessarily come on trees.
Right.
That's why it's worth trading those 5 first rounders. The monetary value is absolutely going to have to be different, but that's where the right-hand man for Tom Dundon matters so much in this, and it's going to be the most fascinating portion of who he hires when he takes over the franchise.
By the way, does the NBA have a limit? Konata Edwards is joining us here in the Adam Gold Show. Does the NBA have a threshold that you can't go beyond for certain private equity ownership? No, the NFL, it's 10%. I don't think you can be more than 10% ownership being private equity firms. Is there a threshold like that in the NBA?
I believe it is 25%.
Okay.
Do not, and I think they did this a lot. I think a lot of this was to mainly keep the PIF out.
Yeah, nation states.
So I do think that the max is 25. But remember, Gabe Plotkin owns a significant portion of the Charlotte Hornets,
right?
And we all know how he got his fortune and lost a decent portion of it as well.
I don't think the NBA is courting the Public Investment Fund or Qatar or the United Arab Emirates here, which, by the way, own 3 of the prominent European soccer franchises. All right, the Boston Celtics, their sale just went final. How long back do we have to go to where that sale was announced?
I think it was like 9. I think I remember it was like right around Christmas.
Yeah.
I think it was right around Christmas where there was like Whit Grousbeck is no longer the owner. Actually, I might have to go back even. It was like Christmas or January. I think I remember then because we all remember like, oh, he's selling before the tax bill comes due, which I found very, very strategic, very, very funny. But I do think I do think that sale was about 6 months. It's going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
For the Dundon sale to be announced. They move glacially. I wouldn't be surprised if the Dundon ownership thing isn't announced prior to maybe the All-Star break. I would be surprised if it's any sooner than that.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is Tom really can't talk about it now because it's not official, hasn't been voted on by the other owners, and I assume that it'll get voted on and passed. There's no reason not to, but yeah, we're not really close to the finish line there. We think we know how the race is going to end, but that's as close as we can get. Konata Edwards, I'll leave you with this. At some point, the Mets will win 2 games in a row. I don't know when that is.
It'll be by then. It'll be too late. Like that's the thing. That we both know that by the time they win 2 games in a row, it'll be too late.
The Reds.
Way too late
you can see the Reds. You can feel the Reds right below the Mets in the standings, sir. I thank you very much. I look forward to talking to you again already.
Hey, look, I miss you already. Next time we will get to talk more in depth on River of Dreams.
I thought about you as I was watching the Billy Joel doc. I did.
See?
He did not mention River of Dreams as one of his favorite songs, though.
Yeah, exactly. Like, River of Dreams is a great song. The album has its highs and its lows, but again, as I said, when last time I was on, I was 10 years old when I first heard it. Again, you can't blame, that's the ignorance of youth. It's still my favorite Billy Joel album, but that's mainly for nostalgia purposes.
I get it.
52nd Street is what I'm vibing with more in the last month and a half at this point.
That's another great album. All right, sir. I appreciate your time, man. I'll talk to you again.
Absolutely. Talk to you soon.
Konata Edwards here on the Adam Gold Show. I watched the there are 2 episodes of the Billy Joel doc. Have you seen it at all?
No,
Okay.
I haven't. Not yet.
This is all about TV today and cake. So I went when I was off for last Friday and this past Monday. I think it was Friday. I dialed it up on HBO. And it's very good. I wouldn't call it like the best rock and roll documentary I'd ever seen, but it certainly, I had heard a lot of things that I did not know, which is good.
Yeah, that's always good.
It's a commitment, though. It's not short.
Oh.
And it was just 1 episode.
Oh.
There are 2 episodes.
Okay.
I haven't even started the 2nd episode yet. But it is about, I think episode 1 is like a 2-hour show.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's a movie.
Yeah, it was. I kept like, isn't this over yet?
Are they wrapping it up?
We haven't even gotten to the back part of the career. Anyway, I recommend it, but just know that you're going to give yourself some time or watch it in segments, which is you are more than welcome to do that. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more about Tom Dundon, owner of the Hurricanes, soon to be owner of the Portland Trailblazers. Is Major League Baseball and Raleigh still in the cards? Maybe. Plus a little bit of Get Off My Lawn.
Oh.
From a star, from an American star.
Wow.
Next.
From the heels.
Touchdown, Carolina.
To the canes.
She scores!
He covers it all. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Turning 65 soon, navigating Medicare can be overwhelming and confusing, but you're not alone. The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program can help. SHIP counselors can help you understand Medicare benefits to make your best choices. Visit ncship.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org. Make this your best summer yet by having fun while staying active and engaged. AARP can help. Find AARP events near you by visiting aarp.org/local. That's aarp.org/local to find both in-person and virtual events. You can also learn more about living your best life by listening to AARP Without Limits, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Did you know? Atlantic hurricane season runs through November. From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. We're celebrating the 10th anniversary of Healthy People, Healthy Carolinas, a powerful initiative from the Duke Endowment that supports community-based coalitions working together to improve health. In our latest episode, produced in partnership with the North Carolina Healthcare Association, Jordan Fry of Healthy Together Cleveland tells us how HPHC is making a difference in her county.
It means everybody's at the
the table. Healthcare providers like Atrium Health, the county's health department, our food pantries, our school systems, colleges, cooperative extension, farmers markets, but most importantly, our residents. Everybody has a role to play, and Healthy Together Cleveland acts as the connector.
Learn more and join our latest conversations on the state of healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Healthcare? Why?
Why is it so hard?
Healthcare is broken.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all, starting with you.
Really?
Really. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting all your benefits, prescriptions, and details on your computer and phone. Convinced?
No, but it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina, making healthcare better for all, starting with you.
Now, all across North Carolina, it's Carolina Newsmakers. Each week, leaders from politics, education, business, and the arts join Don Curtis to share insights and ideas shaping our state. Listen on radio stations throughout North Carolina and on demand at carolinanewsmakers.com. Carolina Newsmakers is presented in part by the North Carolina Academy of Family Physicians, advancing family medicine in North Carolina since 1947.
This is Adam Gold.
I have so many questions too. Like, is the mom going to be in the business too? Are we going to have like themed UNC products? She's in it, so.
Interesting ram horn you've got there.
Yeah.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. Konata Edwards is in Charlotte, by the way. He'll be able to hear that return later, and he'll bop. And I will give you, it's a catchy song.
Right.
It's about the 70th best Billy Joel song, though.
Oh, okay.
Still makes it good.
Yeah.
So they're all good. Yeah, I put it right there with All for Lena. People will who have the Glass Houses album will remember that track. Or Sleeping with Television On was actually a sneaky good song.
Oh, okay. I trust your opinion. I don't know the Joel like you do, so.
Billy is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and watching the documentary got me even more into my, like, because it gives you some background of how the songs were written and whatnot. And yeah, it's
Did it talk about the drama from his career?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the whole point. I did not realize that his first wife, Elizabeth, he was actually married to, I'm going to say his band partner. He and this other guy, I forget his first name, that's terrible, basically were the backbone of their own band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Elizabeth, Billy's first wife, was married to that guy when Billy met her.
Yeah. The band manager quote, maybe.
He stole
his money.
His best friend's wife. No, he stole his best friend's wife. That's exactly what happened.
Oh man.
So yeah, it's strange.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a rewind. We have time. We are going to talk football with Bridget Condon. But first, a little taste of what happened on the New Heights podcast between Travis, Jason Kelsey, and Taylor Swift. Here's Taylor on when she met Travis.
PS12, baby.
This is
All right.
my
TS12.
brand new album. It's called The Life of a Showgirl.
Love it.
It
love
was something that I was working on while I was in Europe on the Eras tour. And
So while you were on tour,
I was working. I would be
How
on tour.
on earth did she do this on the tour is still blowing my mind.
I just love it. I just love it a lot. I love music. I would be playing shows. I'd do like 3 shows in a row. I'd have 3 days off. I'd fly to Sweden go back to the tour and actually like working on this. I was physically exhausted at this point in the tour, but I was so mentally stimulated and so excited to be creating.
She loves football, by the way. And here's about falling in love with the game.
Oh my God, I fell in love with it. I became obsessed with it. I became like a person who was running through the halls of my house screaming, "We drafted Xavier Worthy!" And my friends are like, who body snatched you? What do you mean we drafted Xavier Worthy?
I forget where I was, but you were the first person to tell me that we drafted the fastest man in the draft.
No, I was screeching. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, by the way, the University of Texas, their social media picked up on that clip. They did. They University of Texas football tweeted that out. Taylor knows ball. I remember the tweet. She also asked Travis about the Super Bowl.
Jason, on our first date, I legitimately asked him what it was like when the Chiefs played the Eagles in the Super Bowl and he looked across the field, across the line of scrimmage, and saw his brother standing on the other, like 5 feet in front of him on the field.
Yeah.
And he was like, he didn't even look at me. Like, I now know what an insane question that was. He was like, actually, I'm on the offense. And my brother's on the offense, and I'm only on the field at the same time as the defense. I thought everyone was out there at the same time. I thought that the quarterbacks.
I mean, that's how you played it on the playground growing up. So I understand if you hadn't like.
No, you don't understand. I thought it was like Jared Goff is here and Josh Allen's here, and they're gonna be like. They blow a whistle and then they go at each other and they're like, and it's like, who's gonna win?
This is very funny. All right, she does poke fun at male sports fans here.
As we all know, you guys have a lot of male sports fans that listen to your podcast. Mm-hmm. And I think we all know that if there's one thing that male sports fans want to see in their spaces and on their screens, it's more of me.
Phenomenal. Again, it was enjoyable, entertaining. I'm almost all the way through it. Bridget Condon, NFL Network, joined us earlier. We did talk football. If you are a fan of either the Chargers or the Rams, stay tuned. So, Rashawn Slater, left tackle for the Chargers, out for the year. They believe it was a ruptured patella tendon. So I asked Bridget about that injury and the Chargers.
So he got injured last week in practice, non-contact. I believe it was 7-on-7 or 11-on-11. And it was just one of those things where he stepped backwards and it happened. Tore his patellar tendon. This guy, I'm so happy that he got paid. And I know a lot of people think NFL players get paid and then, it is what it is. Rashawn Slater, I'll tell you, is somebody who wants to win a championship. He wants to be on that field. So you have to feel for a guy like him who does everything the right way. He already has missed a season when he had the biceps injury earlier in his career. But if this could have happened to it couldn't have happened to a better team because you have Joe Alt, who is made up like a left tackle. He's long, he's big, he's 6'8", he's 320 pounds. He played left tackle in college, okay?
Right.
He moved to the right because they already had Rashawn Slater. He's moving back to the left. So I talked to him actually after practice yesterday. He feels confident in being back on the left side. And right now it's just working on figuring out where Justin Herbert is behind him because obviously it's opposite than when you're on the right side. Still a couple weeks before week one. I think they'll be fine. The O-line, though, is dealing with other issues. Mekhi Becton, who they got and hopefully wanted to use. It's kind of interesting. He hasn't practiced in more than 2 weeks, undisclosed as to why. He was out, like, in the locker room. The way their facility is you can kind of see the weight room. It's right next to the field. So he looked sweaty yesterday, like he had just gone through a workout. That's a positive. Hey, right. That's a positive. We're taking positives where we can. I don't know, though. Hopefully he gets back into the mix here soon. But you just look at this Chargers team, and it feels like in February, March, they always are going to the Super Bowl. And then the luck, whatever it is, the luck, it just something happens every season.
Yeah, I don't know if it's luck or if it's management isn't very good at doing this and you sort of, I don't know if karma is the right word, but there are zero examples of great organizations losing a lot. None. Great organizations have a pretty high floor. And, like, I think the Carolina Hurricanes, to me, have a very high floor. They're a playoff team. Like, are they going to win the Stanley Cup? If you told me today Florida would not make it to the Stanley Cup Finals, I would tell you that the Hurricanes have as good a chance, as anybody else in the East to get to the Stanley Cup Finals. Doesn't mean they'll get there. If you told me today that the Florida Panthers would not be in the NBA and the NHL Finals, in the Stanley Cup Finals, I would say Hurricanes, as good a choice as the next best team. New Jersey, Tampa, Toronto. I think the Hurricanes they're not worse than any of those other teams. Worse is, of course, relative because we're talking about all good teams. It doesn't mean you're going to win it, but if you told me today that Florida's not making it back there, I'd say, yeah, I like Carolina's chances. Their floor, super high. Ceiling might not be much higher than that, to be honest. Still have to address, well, we'll get into it. Maybe tomorrow I'll throw some Hurricane stuff at you. But, like, I think I love so much of what this team has. They still need a little bit more, but I love a ton of what they have. All right, one more thing for Bridget Condon, because I teased, LA fans. The Rams, Matthew Stafford, if he's healthy, could be a sneaky team to watch in the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just shocked that Matthew and I both got epidurals this offseason. Wasn't thinking that we would be in common in that regard, but love it. Another reason to root for him, the man who can be humble enough to take the epidural. No, I was out there at practice when they played with the Cowboys 2 weeks ago now, and in talking with people, Sean McVay is a coach on the spectrum, on the side where he's not going to play people in the preseason, right? Some coaches believe in it, some don't. He's very much in the don't category. He's not putting Matthew Stafford out there, because think about it. This guy's 37 years old. He's been hit so many times. He doesn't need to play in the preseason. Let's just be extra cautious. All that I've been told and hearing is that he will be ready for week 1. I know that more has come out about his back. I say don't freak out unless he's not practicing Wednesday of week 1. I think he'll be fine. As you mentioned, he's very accurate, one of the best quarterbacks in the league when healthy. And I think when guys get to this age, you have to practice less. And because you want to be protected, you want to be healthy come January, come December. I agree with you that the Rams are a sneaky good team. On paper, I think the Eagles are the only other team that I would say is stronger than them. But I love talking about the Ravens, so maybe I can't say that. But the Rams are going to surprise a lot of people. They got a lot of they have a young defense that's only getting better.
But they need Matthew Stafford. Stafford with a disc problem in his back. That's why he took the epidural. That's not why Bridget Condon took the epidural. I'll just leave it at that.
No.
Yeah, I thought the Rams would be good last year, and I think they were good last year. Just not quite good enough. By the way, I was looking at the odds. We'll close just by bringing this up. Right now, if you go to FanDuel and you look at the Super Bowl odds, there are 3 teams who are tied for best odds. The Ravens are plus 700, the Bills are plus 700, and the Eagles are plus 700. I find it fascinating that the Kansas City Chiefs, who have been in the last 3 Super Bowls, are the 4th choice.
Yes. I thought you were going to say they were one of the 3.
No. Right. Fascinating that they are the 4th choice. Also, if you look at MVP, I think Lamar Jackson is 1, Josh Allen is 2. I think it's Joe Burrow 3.
Interesting.
And Patrick Mahomes is the fourth choice for MVP. Look, it's hard to keep going back to the Super Bowl. One team has been to 4 straight Super Bowls. One in the history of the Super Bowl era, the Buffalo Bills, who lost all 4. I mean, the Chiefs could do it if you're thinking ahead that far. Victoria, thank you very much. See everybody.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here from my friends at X Golf in Cary, North Carolina's premier indoor golf experience, and I have a great idea. Beat the summer heat and get your golf on at the same time. Grab your foursome, even a sixsome, and head over to the X Golf in McGregor Village Shopping Center. Take advantage of my special buy one, get one free deal. Buy an hour, get the second hour free. Just mention Gold and enjoy. Heck, it's already less expensive than your regular course, and it's not 100 degrees and humid. X Golf in Cary, the home of premier indoor golf in North Carolina.
Get ready.
Concepcion touchdown, 13 yards. NC State leads North Carolina with 8:01 to play.
College football kicks off August 23rd.
Jones a first down and more. 10-5. They've tied the game. Bully ball by the Duke offense. Down the far sideline. Caught at the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Carolina.
On 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.